Chapter 1. With such a great family, isn't it normal for me to be laid back? In the year 2000, in a certain country, at the bus terminal in a new district, the waiting hall was bustling with activity. Many new recruits in green uniforms, wearing bright red flowers, were reluctantly bidding farewell to their families. In the crowd, a figure suddenly jolted and became aware. Lin Hui shook his head, looking around in confusion. What the heck is going on? He distinctly remembered working overtime at the office writing code just moments ago. How did he suddenly end up here? Looking down at his new military uniform, he was almost blinded by the large red flower on his chest. What the hell am I wearing? Did I just get married? Lin Hui, I'm talking to you, can you hear me? Lin Hui looked up in shock, noticing a stern-looking colonel staring intently at him. Who are you? Lin Hui asked, puzzled. Zhao Yuanming rolled his eyes and said sternly, stop pretending to be amnesiac. Even if you act crazy, you still have to go to the military. This is an order from the old man, not a joke. Lin Hui frowned, thinking, I really don't know you. At that moment, a flood of memories rushed in, quickly merging with him. Only then did he realize he had crossed over, and he had become a genuine second-generation military offspring. His father was a commander in the military district, and both his older and younger brothers held respectable positions in the military. His mother was the chairwoman of a corporation, and his uncle was also a CEO. And just last night, the original owner got drunk, which gave Lin Hui the chance to cross over. With such an impressive family, wasn't it okay for him to slack off and enjoy life? But just as he had crossed over, his father forcibly sent him to the military for training. Lin Hui wanted to cry, but had no tears. Couldn't he have waited a couple of days before sending him off? At least let him indulge for a bit and experience what it's like to be a rich playboy. Thinking about how the original owner shouted in a bar last night that all expenses were on Master Lin, and the excited screams from countless girls made him feel exhilarated. The original owner enjoyed the perks, while he had to suffer. This was really unfair. Soon, Lin Hui completely integrated the memories, fully replacing the original owner. He asked dejectedly, can I go in 2 days? Zhao Yuanming stared at him. Do you think this is a market where you can bargain? You have to go, whether you like it or not. Your name has already been reported. If you dare to run away, you'll be labeled a deserter. You'll be caught and given a good beating, then caught again and beaten again. We've prepared all the necessary items for you, like ointment, crutches, and a wheelchair. Lin Hui immediately felt a tightness in his chest. Damn, they've cut off all his escape routes. But Zhao Yuanming changed his tone. The old man said, as long as you can obediently serve for 2 full years. When you come back from your service, you can do whatever you want. Really? Lin Hui's eyes lit up, as if he had found a glimmer of hope. Of course it's true. Zhao Yuanming nodded. Your father is a commander. He keeps his word. Hearing this, Lin Hui immediately felt less resistant. In his previous life, he had come from a poor background and had endured hardships for many years. Though a bit reluctant, it was just serving in the military, after all. Only 2 years it would pass in the blink of an eye. When he returned, he could still indulge and chase after young models. Maybe being a soldier would even give him an edge, making the ladies weak in the knees when they saw him. Deal. It'll go on my journey like Tang Sung, and when I return, he'll be able to enjoy the spoils. But Zhao Yuanming fixed his gaze on him. Still the same rule. You must serve a full 2 years. If you try to find a way to get discharged early or desert, then what I just said is void. Lin Hui interrupted him with a smile. Don't worry, Uncle Zhao. To live a happy life, it'll definitely serve my full 2 years. Off I go. He shouldered his bag and cheerfully ran towards the new recruit group. Zhao Yuanming watched his back and smiled faintly. Regret for 2 years in the military is better than regretting a lifetime by not serving. By then, you might not even want to leave, even if I chase you with a stick. Turning around, he took out his phone. Leader, it's me. Yes, the person has already boarded the vehicle. On the other end, the commander of the Southeast Military District, Lin Guangyao, asked with concern. What was his reaction? Did he think about running? Zhao Yuanming chuckled. How could he, Commander? I conveyed your message to him exactly as you said, and he promised to serve well for 2 years. Lin Guangyao let out a sigh of relief. Getting this kid to join the military was no easy task. He said seriously, even though he's in the military now, you still need to keep a close watch on him. This kid has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. If he pulls something, I can't afford to lose him. Zhao Yuanming laughed heartily. Commander, while Xiao Hui can be a bit mischievous, he's much better than those rich kids outside who only know how to rely on their families. Since he agreed to stay in the military, he will definitely work hard. I believe with his capabilities, as long as he wants to, he can achieve great things in the military and become an outstanding soldier like you. Lin Guangyao beamed with pride, his face full of wrinkles from smiling. Of course, my family's boys can succeed in whatever they do. However, a sword is sharpened through grinding. You shouldn't be coddled all the time. He needs to experience some hardships to toughen his character. All right, keep an eye on him and report any developments to me promptly. Zhao Yuanming nodded. Yes, Commander. After hanging up, he looked at the departing convoy and said meaningfully, Xiaohui, I hope you can truly integrate into the military and understand the old man's good intentions. The truck roared down the asphalt road. The scenery outside flew by in reverse. Inside the truck, the recruits were squeezed together, the long journey making them drowsy. At this moment, Lin Hui was full of energy. Just 2 years it will pass in the blink of an eye. No big deal. He had already planned his life after getting out. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays would be for young models at the club. Tuesdays, Thursdays for stars like Reba, Sure, and Dammy. Sundays would be a day off to recharge. Just thinking about such a life made him feel exhilarated. Lin Hui fantasized about the good life 2 years later, unable to hold back his laughter. Suddenly, a hand appeared in front of him. Lin Hui jumped in surprise. What the heck? Following the direction of the hand, he saw a dark-skinned, endearingly simple young man grinning at him. Big brother, have an egg. My mom made it, still warm. Lin Hui's mouth twitched. This guy had been eating since he got on a bus, and his big white teeth were covered with egg yolk. How long has it been since he last had an egg to be so enthusiastic? No, thanks. I'm not hungry. Chun Eru chuckled. Don't be polite. This is for my family's chickens. You can't buy it anywhere. Lin Hui smiled awkwardly. You can produce this thing? Then I really can't buy it. Chun Eru was taken aback for a moment, then chuckled. Look at what you're saying. People are born from people. Eggs are laid by hens. How could I possibly lay one? Besides, I'm a male. Lin Hui couldn't help but smile. The military truly was a melting pot where all sorts of characters could be encountered. And this one was quite unique. Thanks, Lin Hui replied with a grin. I'm not hungry. And you shouldn't eat too much of this. It's not good for your health. Chun Eru scratched his head in confusion. Aren't eggs supposed to be good for you? If I weren't in the army, the whole village would send eggs to my home, and I still wouldn't have enough to eat. Hee hee, those soldiers from the city are used to a good life. They wouldn't care for your eggs. Lin Hui frowned and glanced to the side, where a young man with thick eyebrows and big eyes was provocatively staring at him. From his appearance, he seemed to be from the urban-rural fringe. Lin Hui realized this guy had misunderstood him, but he didn't feel like explaining further. After all, they weren't going to become friends. Lin Hui turned his head away, too lazy to engage. What's with the attitude? Just because you're from a big city, you think you're something special. The young man snorted, grabbed an egg from the simple young man, and tapped it on his head. If you won't eat it, I will. I'm Wanyang, what's your name? I'm Chun Eru, just call me Eru. The simple young man replied with a big grin. Just then, the vehicle suddenly slowed down. Everyone curiously looked outside. Most of them were leaving home for the first time, arriving in a new environment. They were all unusually excited. The vehicle suddenly stopped, and a stern voice came from outside. Get out, all of you. Hurry up. A veteran with a dark face was banging on the side of the vehicle. Take all your stuff with you. Get down quickly. The new recruits jumped out of the vehicle like a herd of sheep, dazed and confused. The spacious playground became chaotic in an instant, filled with new recruits curiously looking around. Not far from the military flag, the new recruit company commander Zhang Jiantao frowned slightly. So sparse, the quality of today's recruits is getting worse every year. Instructor Wang Hai laughed. Old Zhang, society is developing rapidly. Today's young people grew up in a sheltered environment. You have to be more tolerant. Zhang Jiantao snorted coldly. This is the army, we're not babysitters. Once they get here, they need to be mentally prepared. Look at them. What do they resemble? He said coldly. I heard this batch of recruits even includes some who got in through backdoor channels. No physical exams, no screenings, just shoved in here. What kind of situation is this? Wang Hai looked surprised. No way. There are actual people who got in through connections? Zhang Jiantao nodded. The information is accurate. I don't care who this person is or who pushed him in. If he doesn't meet the standards, they'll send him back. We can't let one bad apple spoil the bunch. Wang Hai nodded. The army was not a shelter. If anyone could just use connections to get in, it would be chaos. At that moment, a commotion suddenly erupted not far away. Get down. Hurry up. Who the hell told you to climb up there? That's the sign for 602. Get down now. Zhang Jiantao turned around, his eyes nearly popping out. He saw a new recruit standing next to a landmark, waving at everyone with great enthusiasm. Brothers, thank you all for coming to contribute your youth. From now on, let's work hard together. Many people were stunned, but a few rural recruits who had never seen much figured they had encountered someone important and immediately stood up straight and shouted. Yes, puffed. Zhang Jiantao and the instructor were furious, nearly spitting blood. They had seen boldness, but nothing like this. What are you all standing around for? Zhang Jiantao shouted, pull him down. Chapter 2. He must be returned immediately, come down at once. Hurry. A group of veterans rushed over in a frenzy. Sensing the impending trouble, Lin Hui promptly leaped down. "New recruit," roared the stern-faced sergeant. "Who permitted you to climb up? Get over there and assemble." Lin Hui shrugged and complied, joining the others in formation. Zhang Jiantao stormed up to Lin Hui, fuming. "Who told you to go up there? Do you have any idea what that main battle tank behind you signifies? It represents bravery, resilience, and glory, our 602nd Division South emblem." With a straight face, Lin Hui replied, "Squad leader, since it is a symbol, I felt compelled to experience it firsthand. To be honest, the moment I ascended, I felt as if the wind roared and the horses neighed. I could even hear the Yellow River raging. Look how impressive that is." Wang Yong rolled his eyes in exasperation. Lin Hui continued, "Sir, I have a request. I wish to take a photo with the tank and hang it above my bed, to constantly remind myself of this honor." "I want that too. I want that too." Chun Eru quickly raised his hand. "Squad leader, I'd like to take several pictures to send back to my village, for my father, my mother, my uncle. And my second uncle." "Shut up." Zhang Jiantao glared at him furiously. The previously jovial new recruits fell silent instantly. It was evident that the squad leader was genuinely enraged. Zhang Jiantao fixed a piercing gaze on Lin Hui. "What is your name?" Lin Hui shouted back, "Report. My name is Lin Hui. In the military, one must speak with conviction, ideally until their throat is hoarse." This was a lesson imparted by his father during his childhood. Do not ask why. It was simply the norm. Lin Hui. Zhang Jiantao found the name somewhat familiar. Wasn't this the same Lin Hui? The kid who didn't even participate in the recruitment medical examination and was hastily shoved in? "Damn it. It's you, you little rascal." He sneered and stepped back. Addressing everyone, "This is the military, not society. You cannot act as you please here. Everything must adhere to discipline. Therefore, to instill some lasting memory, all of you will run 5 kilometers around the field." The new recruit's expressions darkened, all eyes turning toward Lin Hui. Why should they pay for his mistake? Wang Yong protested loudly. "I refuse to accept this." "Refuse what?" Zhang Jiantao retorted coldly. "He is the one at fault. What does it have to do with us?" Before Zhang Jiantao could respond, the instructor, Wang Hai, smiled and said, "The military is a collective, a family. From the moment you stepped in, you became comrades. Now that one of your comrades has erred, shouldn't you collectively bear the consequences? This is called collective honor, and it is your first lesson upon entering." Zhang Jiantao's voice turned icy. "One person makes a mistake, and the collective pays the price. That is the rule. Those who do not wish to run may leave now." Lin Hui's expression changed. He understood this was a warning. Even if he and T made a mistake, the 5 kilometers were inevitable. However, his current body was already depleted from indulgence. Running 5 kilometers was daunting, let alone 500 meters. If he couldn't finish, he would have to return home, and his father would certainly not spare him. At that moment, a mechanical voice suddenly echoed in Lin Hui's mind. "Ding! Congratulations, host, on successfully binding the learning to strengthen system. Regardless of the military skills or theoretical knowledge, your capacity for learning surpasses that of ordinary individuals by 100-fold. As long as you persist in your studies, you shall ascend to the pinnacle of excellence. Upon initial binding, you are rewarded with enhanced physical capabilities, elevating your physical condition to that of a seasoned veteran." Lin Hui immediately felt a warm surge coursing through his body. He soon realized that his previously frail physique had transformed into one brimming with vitality and boundless energy. "What are you all dawdling for? Do you wish to return entirely?" Zhang Jiantao bellowed, prompting the reluctant crowd to trudge toward the training ground. "It's all your fault. If it weren't for you, we'd be fine." Wang Yong glared at Lin Hui, expressing his displeasure. Lin Hui, however, chose to ignore him entirely. The 5 kilometers were inevitable. He was merely the scapegoat in this scenario. The more he pondered, the more vexed he became. "Damn it, I was hoping to lay low for 2 years, and now this guy has set his sights on me." Nevertheless, with the system at his disposal, it wouldn't be so easy for anyone to trouble him. A smirk graced his lips as he followed the throng toward the playground. Not far away, Zhang Jiantao observed the new recruits with a smirk playing on his lips. Wang Hai furrowed his brow. "Old Zhang, are we going a bit too far? These new recruits are pampered at home and lack stamina. Starting them off with 5 kilometers might overwhelm many of them. Shouldn't we ease them into it and allow some time for adaptation?" Zhang Jiantao replied sternly. "The army doesn't afford them such luxury. Once they choose to enlist, they must be prepared to endure hardship. If war were to break out, they wouldn't have time to acclimate. They would be thrust directly onto the battlefield." Wang Hai suddenly smiled slightly. "You don't mean to target that recruit named Lin Hui, do you?" Zhang Jiantao feigned surprise. "Oh, you caught me. Indeed. I have my sights set on this lad. I despise those who gain entry through backdoor means." He scoffed. No wonder he looked so sickly. A gust of wind could topple him. "I was puzzled about how he passed the physical examination." Wang Hai inquired, "What do you intend to do?" "Send him packing. We have the evidence. It's a fact that he entered through the back door. If he fails in multiple assessments, I can find grounds to return him to civilian life. The military is for combat, not for favoritism or nepotism. The 602nd cannot afford to harbor a single rotten apple that could spoil the entire pot. Wang Hai glanced at the training ground and sighed. Shouldn't we perhaps give him a chance? Who knows? Zhang Jiantao raised his hand to interrupt. We are not caretakers. Nor are we maternal figures. Why should we coddle him? Wang Hai sighed, looking utterly resigned. It appeared that the commander was resolute in his desire to rid himself of this recruit. On the training ground, the ranks were sparse. After 2 laps, many began to struggle for breath. Yet Lin Hui ran effortlessly. His physical prowess had been elevated to that of a veteran, rendering 5 kilometers a trivial task. He chuckled to himself. With this level of fitness, when I return home after my service, won't I be soaring with joy every day? Despite his newfound strength, Lin Hui was no fool. His objective remained to navigate these 2 years with utmost caution. Even with a system in place, one must never aspire to be the early bird. Coming from a military family, he is acutely aware that excelling in the ranks often leads to greater hardships. It is far wiser to conserve one's strength and accumulate power, to later lavish it upon the enchanting ladies beyond these confines. As the laps progressed, some began to falter, gradually falling behind. Lin Hui mingled among them, occasionally wiping his brow, feigning an air of fatigue. Yet, he remained steadfastly with the group, showing no signs of lagging. As the 5-kilometer mark approached, Lin Hui astonishingly continued to run, while Zhang Jiantao furrowed his brow in concern. Wang Hai chuckled. Old Zhang, your calculations have gone awry. This fellow, though seemingly frail, possesses commendable willpower and is holding his ground. Zhang Jiantao's lips twitched in disbelief. This shouldn't be the case, should it? His physical condition appeared to suggest he would collapse after just 500 meters. Had he truly misjudged him? Yet he quickly dismissed the thought. He was merely enduring for now, but could he sustain this over time? Wang Hai shrugged, unwilling to delve deeper into the matter. Before long, the new recruits completed the 5 kilometers, returning breathless. Oh dear, I feel utterly drained. I've nearly lost half my life. Lin Hui feigned exhaustion remarkably well, yet his forehead bore hardly a bead of sweat. Zhang Jiantao felt a surge of discontent, but found himself powerless. Next time you falter, I shall still find a way to send you packing. After granting the recruits a brief minute to recover, he assembled the group. Let us introduce ourselves. I am Zhang Jiantao, the commander of this new recruit company, and beside me is your instructor, Wang Hai. Greetings to you all. Wang Hai saluted the new recruits. Zhang Jiantao continued with a commanding voice. First and foremost, on behalf of the 602nd, I extend a warm welcome to you all. I care not what you have done in society or your familial backgrounds. Here, you are all soldiers. In the military, obedience is paramount. You must adhere to orders without question. Should anyone wish to be a thorn in our side, disobey commands, or significantly lag in training, I will not hesitate to send you back. Shun Eru stiffened in alarm. Oh no, sent back? I cannot allow that to happen. Lin Hui observed Shun Eru's reaction, finding it amusingly foolish. He understood that Zhang Jiantao's words were directed at him. In the military, favoritism is strictly prohibited. Having been at a bar just the night before, he now found himself in uniform, and Zhang Jiantao's scrutiny clearly indicated he was aware of Lin Hui's privileged entry. Lin Hui chuckled to himself. This soldier is mine to claim. Not even the King of Heaven could drive me away. Zhang Jiantao commanded. Now, let us distribute the dormitories. Everyone, to the right face. Chapter 3. Collective bed making at the base of the dormitory building. The new recruits stood awkwardly, struggling to form a semblance of a line. Wang Hai, holding the roster, announced. We shall now divide into classes. When your name is called, step forward. Wang Yong, Class 1. Ma Xiaoshan, Class 1. Luo Chaochao, Class 5. Li Tiniu, Class 4. Lin Hui, Class 1. Step forward. Lin Hui promptly jogged over to join Class 1. Shun Eru greeted him with a cheerful smile. Hey, big brother. It's a pleasure to see you again. We truly are fated. With a scoff, Lin Hui turned his head. Noticing Wang Yong glaring at him with an air of indignation, his chin held high. Lin Hui rolled his eyes, lamenting his unfortunate association with such peculiar characters. Typically, in places filled with oddities, life tends to be anything but smooth. He realized he must remain vigilant. Soon, everyone was assigned to their respective classes. Wang Hai closed the roster and announced, Now, let each class leader escort their group back. Today is the first day, rest well, and we will commence training tomorrow. Yes. Follow me. The class leaders promptly guided the new recruits toward the dormitory. Suda? Yes. Just as the stern-faced class leader was about to lead the group back, he was called over by the company commander. You all head to the dormitory first. He turned and shouted toward Class 1 before hastening to Zhang Jiantao. Lin Hui furrowed his brow, privately speculating. The commander seems displeased with me already, and now he is summoning the class leader. Is he planning to target me? Having lived in the compound for so long, he was well aware of how veterans train new recruits. To them, He was likely already seen as a thorn in the side. Regretting his earlier choices, Lin Hui lamented, "Had I known, I wouldn't have climbed that wretched tank. It's merely a hindrance." Nevertheless, he resolved to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Even if Jesus himself appeared, he wouldn't deter me from surviving these 2 years. I'll just have to be more discreet going forward. Su De stood before Zhang Jiantao and saluted. "Commander, do you have any instructions?" Zhang Jiantao responded with a slight smile. "This year, you must retire. I've specifically arranged for you to lead the new recruits. If you perform admirably and earn a commendation, a promotion might be within your grasp." Su Da's excitement surged, his eyes gleaming with hope. A promotion? It was a dream he had cherished for years. After 8 years of service, this was the year he was to return home. Throughout his tenure, he had earned 2 third-class merits, 3 titles of excellent soldier, and countless commendations. However, despite his achievements, Su Da's educational background was limited to junior high. Without exceptional performance this year, he would inevitably be discharged. As a rural soldier, unlike his urban counterparts, he had no job awaiting him upon return. If sent back, he would have to forge a new path. All his skills were honed within the military. What could he possibly do upon his return? He did not wish to leave the beloved place he had dedicated 8 years to, nor did he want to return to the bleak mountains devoid of hope. If given the chance to stay, he would sacrifice everything. Su De fervently proclaimed, "Rest assured, Commander, I will strive to lead Class 1 to victory." Zhang Jiantao chuckled, patting him on the shoulder. "This time, I've deliberately assigned you a few weaker members, knowing your capabilities. As long as you achieve results with them, I'll have a solid case to present to the higher-ups." Lowering his voice, he added, "Keep a close watch on that Lin Hui fellow. He is not cut out for military life. If he proves inadequate, feel free to dismiss him without hesitation, so he doesn't drag you down. Understood?" Su De nodded affirmatively. "Commander, you know what kind of person I am. I have zero tolerance for those who disrupt the ranks." Zhang Jiantao nodded in satisfaction. "Very well. You may go." "Yes." Su Daying saluted and turned to enter the dormitory building. Zhang Jiantao smirked coldly. "Lin Hui, I wonder how long you can endure." Inside the dormitory, there were 5 military beds. Lin Hui occupied the lower bunk, which was quite decent. "Big brother, I'll sleep above you," Chen Eru said, flashing a bright smile. Lin Hui was taken aback to find himself sharing a bunk with this foolish lad. "Don't call me big brother, just call me Lin Hui. Here, we are all comrades." Chen Eru nodded. "All right, big brother. No, good comrade." However, what surprised Lin Hui even more was that Wang Yong ended up in the adjacent bunk. Wang Yong chuckled coldly. "It's bad enough being in the same squad. Now we're so close. What bad luck." Lin Hui retorted disdainfully, "If you think it's bad luck, then don't sleep next to me." He had long found this fellow insufferable, always arguing with him. The more he ignored him, the more spirited Wang Yong became. Wang Yong grasped the iron railing. "I can't stand you city folks, spoiled and pampered. What are you even worth?" Lin Hui laughed. "If you have the capability, take charge and send me back." "Do you possess such power?" Wang Yong was instantly infuriated. Chen Eru, sensing the tension between the two, quickly intervened. "Brothers, the squad leader just said we are now family. Comrades, being placed together is fate. Before coming here, my mother said, 'What big brother nonsense.'" A loud shout interrupted them, causing everyone to stand at attention. Su De entered, glaring at Chen Eru. "This is the army. Here, there are only comrades, no big brothers. Do you understand?" Chen Eru, splattered with saliva, shouted back, "I understand." Su Da's voice turned cold. "Answer again, yes or no?" "I heard you." Chen Eru stiffened nervously. Su Da was so enraged he nearly cursed aloud. Lin Hui, sensing the situation was dire and fearing the squad leader might resort to the punishment of collective responsibility for one person's mistake, quickly interjected, "Squad leader, this lad isn't the brightest. I'll educate him for you shortly. I will surely correct his bad habits." Su Da snorted coldly and addressed everyone. "Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Su Da, and for the next 3 months, I will be your squad leader. Since there's still time before meals, let's make use of this time to learn how to maintain our quarters." The group immediately began whispering amongst themselves. Maintaining quarters? What does that entail? "It means making the bed." "What? We have to learn how to make the bed? I never make my bed at home. My mother does it for me." Lin Hui remained silent, for he understood the significance of maintaining quarters. Across the globe, every nation's military has its own standards for such matters. The Americans polish their boots. The British iron their shirts, while in Yin country, it is about making the bed. A well-maintained quarters standard reflects a soldier's commendable military demeanor. The bed must be perfectly square with sharp corners. No wrinkles are allowed on the sheets. Even the placement and orientation of toiletries, such as toothpaste and toothbrush, are subject to strict requirements. Although Lin Hui was a bit of a dandy, he was subjected to exceedingly harsh standards for maintaining quarters by his father upon returning home. The slightest imperfection would result in dire consequences. Thus, In the realm of military tidiness, his standards rival those of any seasoned veteran. Allow me to elucidate the standards of military order. Blankets must be crisp and square, so that a mosquito would slide off and a fly would land awkwardly. After Suda finished his introduction, he prepared to demonstrate. Now, I will provide a demonstration. Please pay close attention. He approached the bed and picked up a blanket. Once fully shaken out, he began folding it. Align the edges, press the seams, smooth it out, and fold it in half. Lin Hui regarded him with a hint of admiration. A true veteran, his movements were both swift and deft, each step executed with precision. In no time, the blanket transformed in Su Da's hands into a neat square, just as he had described, crisp and angular. Did you see that clearly? Suda inquired. The new recruits appeared bewildered, their heads shaking like rattles. Suda furrowed his brow. I shall demonstrate once more. You must observe every detail and action closely. He stated solemnly. A good standard of order reflects the demeanor of a soldier. Furthermore, the results of our tidiness will be included in the assessment criteria. I do not wish for anyone to falter in such a simple task. As Su Da's gaze briefly lingered on Lin Hui, he noticed that Lin Hui remained unfazed. Any failure in performance was unacceptable, especially in maintaining order. If he could not even fold a blanket properly, all those years of training would have been in vain. Before long, Suda completed another demonstration. All right, you may practice freely. Ask me if you have any questions. The new recruits, brimming with confidence, attempted the task. However, it wasn't long before they resembled individuals afflicted with fleas, scratching their heads in frustration. Chun Eru glanced at Wang Yong. Did you catch the demonstration? After the fold. What comes next? I've forgotten. If you ask me, who should I ask? Wang Yong was equally perplexed, unable to get it right. He cast a furtive glance at Lin Hui, discovering he was equally at a loss, which brought him some relief. Fortunately, this fellow was equally clueless. Otherwise, it would have been quite embarrassing. Unbeknownst to him, Lin Hui was merely feigning ignorance. If he truly wished to fold the blanket, he could have produced a standard square in under 10 seconds. Yet, to avoid drawing attention, he deliberately slowed his pace, aligning himself with the others. He even made intentional mistakes to obfuscate the situation. Suda observed Lin Hui and chuckled inwardly, realizing just how foolish he was. Well done, Suda. While other squads are resting, you have already commenced training in order. Suda turned to find instructor Wang Hai standing at the door. He jogged over to salute. Good day, instructor. With nothing else to do, I thought I would familiarize everyone with the procedures. Wang Hai surveyed the scene and smiled. As expected of you, it seems next month's mobile red flag will undoubtedly belong to your squad. However, having just completed a 5-kilometer run, everyone should take care to rest. Do not exhaust yourselves for the sake of rankings. Understood. Wang Hai cast a few glances at Lin Hui, speaking earnestly. Suda, this squad may be difficult to manage. You might need to invest extra effort. Suda lowered his voice. The company commander has instructed me. I will keep a close watch on that fellow. That is not what I meant. Wang Hai chuckled and waved his hand dismissively, remarking that Lao Zhang was akin to a firecracker, impulsive and hasty in his actions. A trait one would expect you to understand better since he had mentored you. In contrast, you possess a more measured temperament. Thus, it is imperative that you exercise patience with these new recruits and provide guidance where they falter. Suda nodded in acknowledgement, yet his mind remained unperturbed. Should Lin Hui falter and jeopardize the entire class's performance, he would vehemently oppose it. All right, you carry on with your tasks. I shall merely observe, he stated. After Wang Hai departed, Suda turned back toward the dormitory, only to be taken aback upon entering. Lin Hui's bedding was astonishingly folded. Albeit resembling a large loaf of bread, it was nonetheless a commendable attempt. The lad had even ventured to other bunks, instructing his peers on the art of making beds. No, that's incorrect. You must do it this way. Hey, your method is all wrong. Eru, how can you not even fold a blanket? Suda felt a twitch at the corner of his eye. How could this boy, on his very first attempt, achieve such proficiency? It was utterly perplexing. He must have been relying on sheer luck. As Suda approached, Lin Hui beamed and inquired, Squad leader, how does my bedding look? Without a moment's hesitation, Suda yanked the blanket down to the floor, retorting, what are you boasting about? This is hardly commendable. It looks like a freshly baked loaf. How dare you advise others? Start over. Lin Hui glanced at the blanket sprawled on the floor, rolling his eyes in resignation. Great. It appeared he had become the target once more. He had intended to enjoy a peaceful 2 years in the military, but it seemed that would not be so straightforward. Chapter 4. Did the company commander misjudge? This lad is talented. In the dormitory, all the new recruits were diligently attempting to fold their blankets. Despite having observed the process twice, they quickly discovered that executing it was an entirely different matter. How do I do this? Why can't I get it right? Chun Eru exclaimed, beads of sweat forming on his brow as he anxiously glanced around. Nearby, Wang Yong was equally distressed, scratching his head in confusion. He recalled that it hadn't seemed this challenging on television. Surely, being a soldier was merely about hauling explosives and blowing up bunkers, not wrestling with a blanket. Only Lin Hui exhibited any semblance of skill, folding his bedding with remarkable finesse. Ding. Internal Organization Skill, Level 1. Upon hearing the notification, Lin Hui paused, surprised to find that his hands moved with newfound swiftness. He began to instinctively address previously unnoticed details, his techniques growing increasingly adept. Before long, a sharply folded blanket materialized before him. While it did not meet the stringent standards of a perfect tofu block, it was a significant improvement from before. Gazing at his freshly folded blanket, Lin Hui was left dumbfounded. Goodness, I didn't intend to fold it so well. I don't wish to stand out. Host. This system will enhance your abilities as long as you engage in learning. Lin Hui wore a bitter expression, for the first time in his life. He felt that an unexpected stroke of luck was not necessarily a blessing. He merely wished to gain a slight edge, not an overwhelming advantage. Due to his father's influence, Lin Hui possessed an intimate understanding of military life. In the army, everything was a competition, not only running and marksmanship, but even the tidiness of one's living quarters. If a new recruit excelled in internal organization, they would undoubtedly be singled out as a model soldier, paraded for display. At that point, avoiding the spotlight would be nearly impossible. Damn it, I can't fold anymore. If I were to gain any more skills, I could probably fold the blankets into neat squares even with my eyes closed and hands bound. That's quite well done, much better than before. Lin Hui was startled. Su De, appearing like a specter, had unexpectedly positioned himself behind him, nodding in satisfaction. Not bad. It's taking shape. You can stop for now. Go teach others instead. Yes. Lin Hui exhaled in relief. He truly could not manage another fold. The others were utterly lost at this point. Especially Chun Eru, whose folded blanket resembled a dog's chew toy, a sight most pitiful. Wang Yong fared little better. His entire bed looked as if it had been bombarded, and he was frantically jumping around in despair. Lin Hui chuckled. For new recruits, folding blankets was the first hurdle, and it was also the most time-consuming. Some had remained veterans without ever mastering the art of folding. Lin Hui scanned the group, and his smile faltered. Growing up in the courtyard, he was aware that if new recruits failed to fold their blankets properly, the entire class might find their blankets thrown off the balcony, making for a rather comical sight. Alternatively, they could find their blankets tossed into the restroom, compelled to do push-ups over the squat toilet before attempting to fold again. Though Lin Hui was reluctant to draw attention to himself, he also wished to avoid punishment. Hey, how is it going? Lin Hui raised his head, smiling at Chun Eru. Chun Eru's brows were furrowed in distress. Upon seeing Lin Hui, he looked as if he had spotted a long-lost relative. Brother, please help me. I can't do this. No more of this brother nonsense. I've told you countless times, in the army, we are comrades, not brothers. Su De's cold voice startled Chun Eru. Yes. He quickly lowered his voice, pleading, I truly can't fold blankets. Can you teach me? Lin Hui glanced at his blanket. Don't you fold blankets at home? This looks like it's been chewed by a dog. Chun Eru scratched his head. My parents never let me work. They were busy in the fields while I just watched. Lin Hui rolled his eyes. He had thought that those from rural backgrounds were accustomed to hard work. Little did he know, some were quite pampered. He pointed at the blanket. To fold it properly, you must first compress it. The cotton inside is new and tends to puff up. Here, use your arms and apply pressure on both sides. As Lin Hui guided him, Chun Eru mimicked his actions. Though somewhat slow-witted, he possessed considerable strength. Before long, the blanket was significantly thinner. This is effective, truly effective. It's much better than before. Brother, you're amazing. Why are you calling me brother again? Su De's cold snort echoed from below. Chun Eru awkwardly replied, Squad leader, I forgot again. A teachable child. Lin Hui chuckled, nodding. What's that? Chun Eru grinned at him. Lin Hui's lips twitched. He couldn't be too refined with this fellow. Continue folding, don't dawdle. Let us bring honor to our squad. Lin Hui assumed the demeanor of a seasoned instructor. Understood. Chun Eru cheerfully resumed following his instructions. Noticing that Chun Eru had begun to achieve some semblance of order, others gathered around, eager to learn. Flatterer. Wang Yong scoffed, rolling his eyes. What is so remarkable about it? It's merely folding a quilt, something anyone can do. How pretentious. Despite this inner monologue, his eyes could not refrain from stealing glances in that direction, mimicking the actions. Before long, under Lin Hui's guidance, Chun Eru managed to fold a quilt. Albeit resembling a lopsided cotton candy, it had at least taken on some form. Compared to his initial attempts, this was a significant improvement. Chun Eru was overjoyed. Oh my. Thank you so much. This quilt looks splendid. From now on, you are my brother. The other recruits also raised their thumbs in admiration. Impressive. Lin Hui, teach me too. Help me out. I'm clueless. Lin Hui descended from the bed, casually waving his hand. No problem. Comrades. If you need assistance, I am at your service. One at a time, one at a time. Wang Yong, witnessing his smug demeanor, felt a surge of discontent. Back in school, he had always despised those city kids who looked down from their lofty perches, self-assured and condescending. Relying on their privileged backgrounds, they often mocked those from the suburban fringes. Little did he expect to encounter such a person in the army. If you can do it, so can I. Wang Yong treated the quilt as an adversary, applying the techniques he had just covertly learned from Lin Hui, wedging the corners of the quilt with his arm and pushing it forward with determination. Soon, a rudimentary square tofu-like quilt emerged under his efforts. Su De, observing nearby, was filled with excitement. On the very first day of training, this group of recruits was already capable of folding quilts. It seemed that in this new training session, he would undoubtedly excel in internal affairs compared to other classes. As long as he didn't falter in other subjects, he was certain he could lead his class to become the top squad in the recruit company and bring home some accolades. Coupled with his previous 2 third-class merits and various honors, his promotion this time was assured. Su De glanced at Lin Hui, a faint smile gracing his lips. The company commander may have overstated. Although this lad hails from the city, his learning ability is commendable, and he is quite helpful. Perhaps the commander has misjudged him. I should make good use of him. He declared loudly. You all keep folding. I will fetch some water for you. As Lin Hui watched Su De's retreating figure, a mischievous smile crept onto his face. He understood exactly what the squad leader was plotting. Thinking of using me as a helper to achieve your own accolades? Not a chance. Lin Hui's ambition was for the entire class to progress evenly, with no one lagging behind or standing out. This would facilitate his own covert maneuvers, allowing him to navigate through the recruit company with ease. Seizing the opportunity while guiding the quilt folding, Lin Hui had already gleaned a general understanding of the dynamics within the class. There were 10 individuals, varying in height. Aside from himself, there was a fellow named Yu Chao Chao, also a city recruit, though he was rather reticent, a bit of a quiet type. The rest were rural recruits, or, like Wang Yong, from suburban areas. There was also a boy named Ma Xiaoshan, who resembled a slender black monkey, energetic and talkative. Based on experience, rural recruits tended to be more straightforward and easier to manage. Veteran soldiers favored obedient rural recruits the most. However, some individuals exhibit relatively weaker qualities, making them susceptible to criticism. Conversely, those from the city tend to be more dynamic, quick to learn, yet brimming with ideas. Thus, the optimal scenario would be for the entire class to maintain a uniform standard, neither too good nor too bad. This way, he would not be implicated in any punishments and could smoothly endure until he reaches the next unit, allowing him to pass the days comfortably. Lin Hui's eyes sparkled with a sudden idea. He clapped his hands and declared loudly, Everyone, fold your clothes while listening to me. I have something of great importance to share. What is it? The crowd turned to him, curiosity etched on their faces. Even Wang Yong paused his actions, his expression filled with skepticism. What trick is this kid trying to pull? Lin Hui smiled slightly and said, What I am about to share will ensure that none of you face reprimands or penalties in the days to come. Chapter 5. Why is there such a disparity among new recruits? The group gathered around, intrigued. What a show. Wang Yong remained stationary, yet his ears were perked up. Lin Hui, what exactly do you wish to convey? Lin Hui cleared his throat. As you have all observed today, the military is unlike the outside world. We have just arrived and were immediately punished with a 5-kilometer run, and not a single one of us was spared. Similarly, if anyone makes a mistake going forward, our entire class will surely face punishment. Isn't that still your fault? Wang Yong rolled his eyes. Lin Hui chose to disregard him, knowing that this fellow likely had a history of being difficult. So what should we do? Someone asked. That 5 kilometers nearly broke my legs. They are still trembling now. I don't want to be punished, big brother. How can we avoid it? Seeing the group's animated chatter, Lin Hui smiled gently. It's actually quite simple. Just adhere to 2 principles. Obey orders and respect the veterans. What do you mean? Ma Xiaoshan inquired, leaning in with curiosity. Lin Hui chuckled. Do you know why the veterans like to call us new recruits newbies? It's because we are fresh arrivals, utterly oblivious. This is the military, and many aspects differ from the outside world. It's not a matter of simply doing as you please. Take walking, for instance. Outside, one can stroll freely without a care, but here, one must adhere to military regulations. He continued, in the military, one must walk in an orderly manner, 2 abreast or 3 in a row. This means that when 2 individuals walk together, they must proceed side by side, synchronizing their movements, and if there are 3, they must form a line. Upon encountering a veteran, one must greet the squad leader, regardless of rank, and do so with utmost volume. Chen Eru asked curiously, Why is that? Lin Hui replied with a smile. A loud voice signifies respect. When veterans are pleased, they naturally will not trouble us. Furthermore, when encountering an officer, everyone must address them as sir, with an attitude more respectful than that shown to one's ancestors. Wang Yong scoffed from the side. More respectful than to one's ancestors? Are you suggesting we're at a grave? Don't pay attention to his nonsense. It's not that mystical. Lin Hui shot him a glare. If you don't believe me, why don't you go out and try it for yourself? Wang Yong was furious, unwilling to be the scapegoat. Suddenly, someone spoke up. I believe Lin Hui has a point. Let's heed his advice. Especially since the monitor just praised him. The others immediately nodded in agreement. Wang Yong, though speechless, secretly acknowledged that Lin Hui's words held some truth. He merely found the man himself displeasing. Shun Eru, curious, inquired, Brother, is there anything else we should be mindful of? Lin Hui smiled faintly. For instance, when we go to the cafeteria, if the officers haven't arrived, you must stand quietly. Until the officers are seated, none of you should take a seat. And until they have begun to eat, no one should pick up their chopsticks. What? Why so many rules? Lin Hui replied sternly, without strict discipline. How could our nation be so formidable? The group nodded in agreement, recognizing the validity of his statement. Lin Hui continued calmly, just follow my lead. And there will certainly be no issues. Shun Eru scratched his head. With so many things to remember, what if I forget? Lin Hui reassured him, it's simple. Just follow my actions when the time comes. All right, we'll follow you. The group responded eagerly. Just then, a voice called from outside. Hey, are we going to fetch water? The crowd immediately dispersed. Suda entered, carrying 2 thermos bottles. What is going on? Have you all learned everything? Or are you still chatting? Lin Hui smiled and replied. Monitor, I was just explaining the details to everyone. They are eager to learn quickly and bring honor to our class. Suda beamed with delight. Exactly. We must strive to be first. As soldiers, we should possess that fighting spirit. Keep folding. If you have any questions, just ask. And those who want water can come over. The group returned to folding their bedding diligently. Before long, the whistle blew, signaling mealtime. Quickly follow me. Lin Hui beckoned. And everyone hurried down the stairs. Suda intended to call out, but was astonished by their self-discipline. When he reached downstairs, Class 1 had already formed a neat line. Hurry up. Each of you. Move faster. Why is it taking so long to eat? Look at Class 1. They are already lined up. In contrast, other classes had their monitors loudly urging the sluggish new recruits. Suda stood proudly at the front of Class 1, gleefully observing the other classes. Too slow. Far too slow. Class 2. Class 3. Why haven't you assembled yet? I've been waiting forever. If you aren't eager for your meal, what can I say? The monitors of Classes 2 and 3 glared fiercely at their recruits, frustrated. All new recruits were eventually assembled. A platoon leader shouted, Everyone, right turn. With a swift motion, Class 1 turned to the right. Although their movements were somewhat chaotic, they appeared far more disciplined compared to the lackadaisical demeanor of the other classes. March in step. Other classes stumbled along, some even chatting and laughing within the ranks. Among the entire assembly of new recruits, only Class 1 managed to synchronize their movements, maintaining silence throughout. The contrast was striking. At the entrance of the cafeteria, Brigade Commander Zhou Zhongyi and several company commanders awaited their arrival. Zhou Zhongyi noticed a particular group among the new recruits, standing out like a crane among chickens, and his attention was immediately captured. This squad of soldiers was quite impressive. Zhang Jiantao was momentarily taken aback, for he recognized that the lead soldier was none other than Lin Hui. He twitched his lips but quickly exclaimed, Commander, this is the first squad, and the squad leader is Suda, who possesses considerable experience. The commander nodded in satisfaction, stating, Good steel needs a good whetstone to be forged into a fine blade. Indeed, this squad is commendable. Zhang Jiantao offered an awkward smile. Yet his gaze remained fixated on Lin Hui. What was up with this kid? His movements were so precise, so disciplined. It was as if he were an entirely different person. One might even mistake him for a seasoned veteran. As the formation neared the mess hall, the squad leader shouted, Everyone, let us raise our voices and build some momentum. 1, 2, 3, 4. While the other recruits looked bewildered, Lin Hui had already called out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Upon hearing him, Qin Eru and the others immediately joined in, their voices ringing out robustly. The first squad was the first to shout, their voices booming, while the other squads could only follow along haltingly at their leader's urging. Very good, very good. The commander nodded approvingly, pointing at Lin Hui, saying, He is beginning to exhibit the qualities of a soldier. This lead soldier from the first squad is quite capable. Zhang Jiantao's eyes twitched. Wasn't this kid supposed to have come through the back door? How had he suddenly become so adept? He remarked. It is indeed Suda's experience that allows him to teach the new recruits to perform so commendably right from the start. Zhou Zhongyi nodded in appreciation. This young man is truly impressive. If he continues to excel, I will personally submit a commendation report. Yes, Commander. Zhang Jiantao was immensely excited. It seemed this time they were assured of success. His gaze returned to Lin Hui, still puzzled about what had caused this transformation in the boy. Soon, the entire troop halted at the entrance of the mess hall. The most orderly squad remained the first one. Zhou Zhongyi smiled slightly and addressed the recruits. Comrades, I am the commander of this new recruit training regiment, and I welcome you to 602. The 602 is a unit with a glorious historical tradition, and I hope that in the days to come, you will train diligently and uphold our esteemed legacy. Yes, the members of the first squad shouted in unison. Following Lin Hui, the other recruits looked on in bewilderment, shouting so loudly. Were these fellows out of their minds? Their squad leaders bore expressions of utter embarrassment. Their soldiers paled in comparison to the first squad. Suda held his head high, a triumphant smile plastered on his face. He could clearly see the commander's approval. These young men had certainly brought honor to him, especially Lin Hui, who was indeed a talent that needed to be nurtured and utilized. If he could inspire the entire squad, their performance would undoubtedly soar. When accolades were achieved, promotion would be a certainty. Zhou Zhongyi's gaze fell upon Lin Hui, a subtle smile gracing his lips, before he proclaimed loudly, "In the army, we sing military songs before meals. Since you are newcomers, you are excused from this today. Tomorrow, during the training break, the squad leader will teach you. Now, let us proceed to dine." Suda led the way, marching in unison with the others into the mess hall. Upon reaching the dining table, Lin Hui hastily gestured, "Do not sit down. For heaven's sake, stand at attention." Wang Yong, his face etched with discontent, retorted, "You make it sound so serious." Lin Hui chuckled, "If you don't believe me, then be my guest and sit. I won't stop you. I shall heed my elder brother's advice." Heir who obediently stood, as did the others, standing tall. Wang Yong contemplated sitting, but, gritting his teeth, found his rear stubbornly refusing to descend. The soldiers from other squads, however, paid no heed, plopping down as soon as they entered. At that moment, the officers began to enter one after another. The regiment commander surveyed the room, his gaze ultimately resting on the first squad. A satisfied smile forming on his face as he took his seat. Zhang Jiantao, initially indifferent, noticed the commander's expression and scanned the mess hall, his brow immediately furrowing. "All rise," Zhang Jiantao bellowed, his face pale with anger. The new recruits were taken aback, exchanging bewildered glances. What was happening? Lin Hui smirked subtly, winking at the others. Chapter 6. It is not our excellence, but rather the brilliance of others that highlights us. The new recruits stood in a daze, wide-eyed and exchanging blank stares. "Are your ears deaf? Can't you hear?" With a resounding clap, Zhang Jiantao struck the table. "Everyone, stand up." The squad leaders hastily shouted, "Stand up, all of you." Only then did the recruits, begrudgingly, shift their behinds from the chairs. The regiment commander observed with a gleeful expression, as though relishing the spectacle. Zhang Jiantao strode directly to the first squad, indignation evident as he remarked, "What kind of education are the squad leaders providing? Look at the first squad, standing so impeccably. The leaders haven't even taken their seats. Who permitted you to sit down? You have no sense of discipline whatsoever." Suda, beaming with pride, felt his eyebrows nearly lift off his forehead. He had not instructed them. Fortunately, Lin Hui had set an example. This lad was no mere backdoor soldier as the company commander had implied. He was, without a doubt, a prodigy. With the regiment commander present, these new recruits had truly showcased themselves. In stark contrast, the expressions of the other squad leaders were far less favorable. Had everyone taken their seats, the situation might have been different. Yet, the first squad stood while the others sat, revealing a significant disparity in their command efficacy. Zhang Jiantao paced with hands behind his back, from the very first day of their enlistment. It is the duty of each squad leader to guide the recruits onto the right path. War may arrive at any moment, and our time is limited. We must seize every opportunity to mold them into true soldiers. I have already heard from the instructor that the first squad began learning to organize their personal effects upon arrival. Within mere hours, they can fold a blanket neatly. And what about you? He admonished sternly. During the recent march, the first squad was the best among the entire recruit company, while not perfectly synchronized. They at least exhibited the semblance of soldiers. The shouts of slogans were both resounding and harmonious. Just take a look at you, class leaders. What purpose do you serve? Are you merely caretakers for the new recruits, failing to impart any knowledge? The faces of the class leaders turned pale. Meanwhile, the oblivious new recruits continued to whisper and stifle their laughter. Lin Hui observed this with keen eyes, finding amusement in their ignorance of the gravity of the situation. It seemed likely that they would face misfortune that very night. The class leaders cast envious glances at Suda, who felt a surge of satisfaction. At that moment, Suda was particularly grateful to Zhang Jiantao, for he understood that the captain's admonition was directed not only at the class leaders, but also intended for the regiment commander. Suda smiled subtly, realizing that on just the first day, such a considerable gap had already emerged, as long as they did not falter moving forward. Accolades and honors were assured. He looked at Lin Hui, unable to suppress his admiration. What a fine soldier indeed. Zhang Jiantao spoke sternly. From this moment forth, All of you should take Class 1 as your model. A significant disparity has already formed on the very first day. How will it be from here on out? Each of you must sharpen your wits. This is the military, not society. Yes, everyone shouted in unison, with a few new recruits deliberately elongating their tones, finding it amusing, completely oblivious to the seriousness of the matter. The class leaders glared with fiery eyes, their fists clenched tightly, glaring at the soldiers behind them with expressions of frustration. Wait until we return tonight. I will ensure you learn a proper lesson. Everyone, sit down and eat. The captain bellowed. And the new recruits immediately sat down and picked up their chopsticks to commence their meal. This infuriated the class leaders to the point of nearly steaming from their nostrils. Truly, they were like mud that could not be molded. The rules just stated were instantly forgotten. Zhang Jiantao shook his head while observing from the side. Despite his earlier outburst, these new recruits seemed unaffected, behaving as if nothing had happened. Turning to glance at Class 1, he noted that even when seated, they remained like puppets, their hands resting on their thighs, utterly still. However, their peripheral glances were all directed towards Lin Hui, as if he were their anchor. Zhang Jiantao was taken aback. Could it be that Class 1's remarkable coordination was entirely due to this young man's leadership? Had he misjudged him? He mused silently. There hadn't been any physical exams or screenings before being assigned, which was indeed irregular, yet it did not preclude the possibility that he might be a promising soldier. Zhang Jiantao shook his head. Never mind, I shall observe further. If Lin Hui truly is a commendable soldier, he must be nurtured, should the opportunity arise in the future. I will offer my apologies. Soon, all the officers settled down and began to eat. Noticing the officers had started their meal, Suda then commanded, "Let us dine." The others looked to Lin Hui, who decisively picked up his chopsticks and lifted his bowl. Only then did they feel reassured to begin their meal. Suda felt exhilarated. Reveling in the limelight, it was an exhilarating experience. He even felt as if he were not in a recruit company, but rather leading a group of seasoned soldiers. Suda picked up a piece of braised pork and offered it to Lin Hui. Lin Hui, do enjoy this. The food in the cafeteria is quite good. Everyone should eat well. There's plenty more if needed. Thank you, class leader. The others did not hold back, relishing their meal with gusto. Especially Chun Eru and Wang Yong. Their dining habits resemble a fierce battle, devouring their meals with voracious appetite. On one hand, the culinary skills of the cooking team are commendable. On the other, when a crowd gathers, one must resort to snatching food, which is undeniably more delectable than eating alone. Lin Hui, who was also engaged in his meal, noticed Suda gazing at him with a smile, akin to admiring a beautiful goddess. A sudden jolt of anxiety surged through him. Could it be that this old fellow has taken an interest in me? What a disaster. Did I perhaps overdo it today? I merely aimed to avoid punishment, yet here I stand, standing out like a crane among chickens. In truth, the performance of the first squad was far from exceptional. Many of their actions were erroneous, failing to meet the established standards. However, the dismal performance of the other squads inadvertently elevated the first squad to the status of an exemplary model. He pondered deeply. I cannot afford to be so conspicuous. I must swiftly adjust my strategy, ensuring everyone maintains a level of mediocrity, neither lagging behind nor excelling excessively. This way, I can rest easy, living a life of tranquility like a salted fish. After the meal, the squads began their return. Upon arriving at the dormitory, the first squad immediately engaged in a contest with their bedding. Lin Hui was acutely aware that it wouldn't be long before the new recruits faced an internal affairs evaluation. Should they fail to meet the standards during this assessment, Suda would undoubtedly erupt in anger, making life miserable for everyone. Thus, in an effort to avoid punishment, he busily assisted his comrades in the dormitory. If they could all maintain a level of mediocrity, they would be secure. Just then, a cacophony resembling the cries of a slaughtered pig erupted from outside. Lin Hui and his companions quickly leaned out of the window to investigate. There, by the flower bed, all the new recruits stood in formation, vociferously shouting, 1, 2, 3, 4. Their voices were nearly hoarse, their faces reflecting a profound sense of despair. Yet the squad leader continued to bellow angrily from the sidelines. Shout louder. You've all had your fill. Why is your voice so feeble? Are you raising mosquitoes? Keep shouting until your throats are hoarse. Everyone in the first squad collectively gasped. Even Wang Yong couldn't help but clear his throat, a wave of apprehension washing over him. The way they looked at Lin Hui was akin to reverence. Lin Hui, you truly are remarkable. Thankfully, we followed your lead. Otherwise, we would have faced dire consequences today. Brother, I admire you immensely. Allow me to bow to you. Lin Hui smiled faintly, relieved that he had a good grasp of the military situation. Otherwise, they wouldn't be comfortably folding their bedding in the dormitory. Instead, they would be dragged outside to face punishment together. What are you staring at? Do you wish to join the practice outside? Hurry, mind your own business. Suda approached, deliberately speaking in a cold tone. Lin Hui stuck out his tongue, and promptly led his comrades back to their beds to continue their tasks. Meanwhile, Zhou Zhongyi had just returned to the regiment's office and picked up the phone. "Hello, old Zhao, it's me. I need to discuss something with you." Chapter 7. Cultivating Excellence. The making of a soldier king. The following morning, resounding military songs echoed across the training ground. Unity is strength. Unity is strength. In the barracks, the new recruits lazily crawled out of bed, yawning and stretching their weary limbs. The wake-up call sounded, quickly, with urgency. Lin Hui was the first to rise from his bed, swiftly donning his attire. The entire class had already begun to view him as a model for their studies. Whatever Lin Hui did, they dutifully followed suit. Everyone moved with the precision of seasoned soldiers, quickly dressing before rushing downstairs. The night prior, Lin Hui had already briefed them. Efficiency was paramount in the military. Upon hearing the whistle or the military anthem, they were to respond promptly, for only swiftness would spare them from reprimand. The haunting memories of how severely other classes had been punished lingered in their minds. 2 hours of shouting left their throats hoarse and weary. Lin Hui had warned them that this was merely the mildest punishment, with even more grueling physical training to come, which had kept Chen Eru awake with anxiety throughout the night. In a bid to avoid punishment, they unanimously decided to heed Lin Hui's guidance. Although Wang Yong disapproved of Lin Hui, he too wished to avoid hardship and thus chose to follow Lin Hui's instructions dutifully. As Suda descended, Lin Hui and his peers had already formed a line. Suda felt a surge of excitement. Perhaps the heavens had ordained this opportunity for him to advance in rank by sending him this group of new recruits. After over a minute, the other classes finally arrived, sluggishly completing their assembly. Zhang Jiantao approached the first class, nodding in approval. "Well done, quick response." He then turned to the others, his expression stern as he commanded. "Take a lesson from Class 1. You are all new recruits, yet observe the disparity between your performance and theirs. Especially you, class leaders, if the recruits are unaware. Should you not lead by example? Reflect on the gap between you and the leader of Class 1. The faces of the class leaders darkened at once. From yesterday to today, they had endured a barrage of praise for Class 1, and now, looking at their own recruits, frustration bubbled within them. Under the fierce gaze of their leaders, the new recruits swallowed hard, fearing the repercussions. They sensed misfortune looming. Suda surveyed the line behind him, his spirits lifted. Zhang Jiantao announced loudly, "I will now declare the daily schedule for the new recruits during the training period. Everyone, lend me your ears and listen carefully. Wake-up time is 5:40 a.m. in summer and 6 o'clock a.m. in winter. Each morning, there will be half an hour of physical training, which could include fitness exercises, drills, or other training, arranged by each class. After morning exercises, there will be 20 minutes for personal and communal hygiene, as well as the upkeep of the barracks. Breakfast will be at 7 o'clock a.m., followed by morning classes starting at 7:30 a.m. Lunch will be served from 11:30 a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m., and dinner from 5 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. If evening practice is required, it will commence according to the whistle. I must emphasize that from 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., we will watch the news broadcast, and lights out will be at 9:30 p.m. All the new recruits wore grim expressions. Was there truly any difference between this and imprisonment? Lin Hui sighed in resignation. Why must my father subject me to this ordeal? Wouldn't it be more delightful to enjoy life outside? Zhang Jiantao bellowed. Today marks our first day of practice. We will begin by circling the track twice. Class leaders, you will then oversee the organization of personal quarters. Everyone right face. Everyone immediately turned right and rushed towards the playground. The 2 laps concluded swiftly, and the class leaders escorted the new recruits back to the dormitory to commence their training in tidiness. Last night, they had learned from Class 1, who had preemptively instructed the newcomers on how to fold their bedding. However, due to being penalized and kept late, they had scarcely practiced before lights out. Furthermore, after a night's sleep, most had forgotten everything. Early in the morning, chaos ensued, with some classes resembling a bustling marketplace, filled with uproar. They were as foolish as swine. How could they not learn anything from my demonstration last night? Just look at Class 1, and then at our Class 5. You are undeniably the worst batch of recruits I have ever encountered. The new recruits were so reprimanded that they could barely lift their heads, feeling utterly dejected. Just yesterday, the class leaders had appeared as amiable older brothers, but now, those figures had vanished, replaced by fierce and intimidating presences. Their change in demeanor was swifter than the turning of pages in a book. Meanwhile, Class 1 had already begun their frantic preparations. Lin Hui dashed to his bed and began folding his quilt. Quickly, everyone, let us fold our bedding. We still need to clean. And we must not fall behind the other classes. Understood. Everyone raced against the clock. Following Lin Hui's method, they swiftly shaped their quilts. When faced with someone as slow-witted as Chen Eru, Lin Hui simply took matters into his own hands, quickly helping him fold his quilt. As expected, the familiar notification chimed in his mind. Ding, tidiness skill level 1. Lin Hui inwardly cursed. Damn it, in my haste, I forgot about the system. But he brushed it aside for now. Once the quilts were neatly folded and personal hygiene addressed, Lin Hui immediately exclaimed, "Let's hurry and clean." Without pause, they all rushed towards Class 1's designated area, grabbing tools to start their work. Chun Eru, while mopping the floor, grinned foolishly at Lin Hui. "Brother, I'm so glad you're here. Otherwise, I surely would have failed at folding my quilt and would have faced criticism." Lin Hui's lips twitched as he thought, "Why on earth would I help you? I'm just trying to avoid punishment." Yet he smiled and replied, "You need to practice more. You can't hold everyone back. After training, I'll teach you." "Absolutely." Chun Eru gazed at him idolizingly. "I'll listen to you, brother." Wang Yong scoffed, unable to hide his disdain. "Eru, you're incredibly foolish. You can't even fold a quilt. Come find me later, and I'll teach you. I guarantee I'll do it better than some." Lin Hui rolled his eyes. "Aren't you just stealing my methods? How dare you say that? All done. I've finished my work, and the floor is shining." Soon, everyone completed the cleaning tasks in their designated area. Suda was grinning broadly, scampering over to report to Zhang Jiantao. Noticing his departure, Lin Hui promptly gathered everyone together. "Listen carefully, everyone. Tidying up is just one aspect. A qualified soldier must pay attention to the following points. First, tidiness, which goes without saying, as you have all observed. Second, standing at attention and marching in formation must be executed with precision and uniformity. The third point is obedience to orders. As for the rest, a moderate effort suffices. No need for perfection. As long as everyone adheres to my directives, I assure you a comfortable stay in the unit." A curious recruit inquired, "Lin Hui, how do you know so much?" Chun Eru, with a proud expression, replied, "My elder brother is exceptionally intelligent. He is a genius." "TCH. Wang Yong scoffed disdainfully. Lin Hui chuckled. "Actually, I have someone in my family who served in the military, so I possess a bit more understanding." Wang Yong immediately responded sarcastically, "No wonder you know so much. It turns out you have someone at home." Lin Hui, uninterested in further banter, stated, "Regardless, whatever I do, you all shall follow suit and align with me." "Fine, as long as we don't face penalties, we'll heed your commands." The group nodded, subtly beginning to regard Lin Hui as their leader. Wang Yong felt increasingly uncomfortable. He detested self-important city folks who aspired to be leaders. Yet, he felt powerless, as Lin Hui's knowledge was undeniable. Just then, the whistle blew suddenly. It was time for breakfast. Everyone returned their tools and promptly followed Lin Hui outside. The squad leaders, having learned their lesson, also gathered their recruits swiftly upon hearing the whistle. However, as they passed by the first squad's dormitory, they were left dumbfounded. Goodness, it's only the second day, and the blankets are already folded neatly? If I hadn't seen it, I would have thought it was the veterans' dorm. Unsurprisingly, the first squad remained the fastest among all the new recruit teams. The second squad leader couldn't help but cast an envious glance at Suda, exclaiming, "Truly deserving of being the first squad leader. Veterans are indeed superior. Your competence surpasses ours. Your promotion this time is likely assured." Suda smiled proudly. "It's not that exaggerated. As long as you all learn from me, you'll be just as capable in the future, haha." Wang Yong, standing at the back, secretly spat in disdain. "Ha, shameless. It's clearly Lin Hui who taught them. What does it have to do with you?" Suda glanced at Lin Hui, standing at the front with an upright posture as if a mop handle were inserted into his back, and smiled. "This lad is undoubtedly exceptional. With proper cultivation, he will undoubtedly become a king among soldiers." Chapter 8. Awarded the flowing red flag. The day's training soon concluded. After dinner, everyone returned to the dormitory to rest. Lin Hui approached Suda with a cheerful demeanor, greeting him, "Squad leader." "What is it?" Suda replied, lifting his head with a serious expression. Although Lin Hui had only been here for 2 days, Suda's attitude towards him had significantly changed. Lin Hui smiled and said, "Squad leader, I heard there are regulations we need to memorize in our unit. Is that right?" "Hey, you really know a lot," Suda remarked, surprised and amused. Lin Hui cleverly responded, "My uncle used to serve in the military. Before I joined, he shared some insights about the army, particularly emphasizing the importance of these regulations. So I thought, since we have some time before bed, why don't we memorize the regulations while folding our blankets?" Suda burst into laughter, realizing this lad was indeed resourceful and adept at managing his time. "The regulations do need to be memorized. Just wait, I'll fetch a copy for each of you." After speaking, he cheerfully turned and exited the dormitory. Wang Yong tossed his blanket onto the bed and grumbled, "Lin Hui, you're just looking for trouble. Everyone's already struggling to make their beds, and now we have to memorize these ridiculous regulations? What do you even understand?" Lin Hui scoffed. "The regulations are something every soldier must memorize. What if one day a superior comes for an inspection and we can't recite them? That would be disastrous. Moreover, these rules clearly outline what we can and cannot do as soldiers. knowing them benefits everyone. Wang Yong rolled his eyes. You make it sound so convincing. Who even knows if any of this is true? I trust him. What my brother says is always right. Chen Eru, like a little fanboy, agreed. The others also voiced their support for Lin Hui. If it weren't for Lin Hui teaching them how to make their beds and informing them of some military protocols, they would have no idea what punishments they might face by now. Suddenly, a loud shout erupted from outside. Ma Xiaoshan, resembling a black monkey, curiously dashed out. When he returned, his face was ashen. What happened? Everyone immediately gathered around, intrigued. Ma Xiaoshan, still shaken, said, the second and third squads are practicing their daytime drills. Everyone is being punished to stand on the horse stance. The squad leader looks as fierce as if he wants to devour someone. It seems the upper floors are also in training. It's dreadful. The group gulped in fear. It appeared that, apart from their squad, the others and the new recruits were all undergoing extra training. Chen Eru nearly bowed to Lin Hui, exclaiming, thank goodness for listening to my brother, otherwise, we would surely be in trouble. The others quickly nodded in agreement. Yes, yes. We will all memorize those regulations thoroughly. What Lin Hui says must be useful. Wang Yong couldn't help but scoff, rolling his eyes habitually. For some reason, the more popular Lin Hui became, the more displeased he felt towards him. Even though he knew Lin Hui was likely right, he just wanted to argue. Before long, Suda brought over the regulations, distributing a copy to each person. Once received, everyone immediately began to read intently, their heads bowed as if they could press their eyes closer to the text. They had never been this serious during their school days. Suda beamed as he watched, his gaze resting on Lin Hui. This soldier was genuinely remarkable, serving as a true leader. With him around, not only was the burden lighter for himself, but the entire squad's progress also surpassed that of others. It's likely they would not have to wait until the end of the training period to receive commendation. In the following days, everyone in the first squad regarded Lin Hui as their cornerstone. Regardless of the task, they looked to him as the standard. Even in matters as mundane as eating, sleeping, or using the restroom, they aimed to emulate him. Lin Hui, undeterred, tirelessly instilled in them, as long as we attend to every detail and adhere to the rules, the squad leader will certainly find no excuse to punish us. However, the first squad's outstanding performance was a burden for the other squads. They almost faced extra penalties and training every night. The soldiers in the first squad watched with satisfaction, grateful for Lin Hui, recognizing that without him, they would not enjoy such favorable circumstances. However, this also served as a source of motivation for them, driving them to train even harder in order to prevent being surpassed by other classes. Before long, a week had swiftly elapsed. Class 1's academic progress was significantly ahead of the others. Not only did they excel in internal affairs and military posture, but they also exhibited remarkable proficiency in marching, already embodying the essence of a soldier. Even Suda was summoned to the instructor's office and received a thorough commendation, which filled him with pride. Early one morning, Class 1 was diligently organizing their internal affairs in the dormitory when Instructor Wang Hai unexpectedly entered with his team. Stand up, Suda bellowed, and everyone promptly rose to salute. Good morning, Instructor. Wang Hai waved his hand with a smile, saying, everyone, there's no need to be nervous. You may lower your hands. We have been observing your performance during this period. Class 1 has done remarkably well, and your efforts have truly shown, especially in internal affairs, where you have left other classes far behind. After speaking, he gestured behind him, and a soldier immediately approached, carrying a small triangular red flag with both hands. Su Da's face was alight with excitement, but Lin Hui's expression changed dramatically. Oh no, the moving red flag. In the battalion, there was a weekly evaluation of internal affairs among all classes, and only the class with the best internal affairs could receive the moving red flag, which symbolized honor. Especially at the year's end, the class that garnered the most moving red flags would bask in the greatest glory. Lin Hui's heart sank. This is bad. The situation is spiraling out of control. I merely aim to avoid punishment, yet inadvertently, we've acquired the moving red flag. Wang Hai smiled as he presented the red flag to Su Da, praising, the moving red flag symbolizes honor. Receiving this flag signifies that your hard work and efforts during this time have not been in vain. I hope you will continue to strive and maintain this momentum. Yes, Su Da nodded enthusiastically. In the corridor, the other class leaders looked on with envious eyes. However, thinking of the underperforming soldiers in their own classes, they were immediately filled with frustration. They felt compelled to discipline their subordinates harshly. Otherwise, before long, they would barely recognize the shadow of Class 1. Wang Hai turned to address the other class leaders. Do not merely observe. Learn from Class 1 and seek their wisdom. Yes, Instructor. Observing the envy on the faces of the other class leaders, Su Da held his head high, resembling a proud rooster. He hung the moving red flag on the wall and solemnly declared to everyone, let us continue to strive for excellence. Quickly, keep folding your blankets, aiming for perfection. We must not allow other classes to surpass us. Lin Hui turned around, staring blankly at the blankets before him. This is dreadful. It seems the class leader has become overly ambitious. He had originally intended to maintain a reasonable standard, just enough to avoid punishment. However, with the arrival of the moving red flag, the class leader appeared invigorated, showing no signs of wanting to halt their efforts, but rather pushing them to exert even greater effort. Who can endure this? The current state of Class 1 had already surpassed Lin Hui's expectations. They absolutely could not continue to push forward. Otherwise, in the days to come, he would find no peace whatsoever. Lin Hui's eyes darted around, and he silently contemplated. It seems I must adopt a different approach. Chapter 9. Please refrain from praising me. I merely wish to be a carefree soul. The entire class continued to fold their blankets. Wang Hai did not depart, but continued. Everyone, pause your tasks for a moment. Besides delivering the mobile red flag to your class, I must also commend Comrade Lin Hui. A sinking feeling gripped Lin Hui's heart. His mind clouded with dismay. Truly, one fears what may come. During the first week of training, his performance had been exemplary among the entire new recruit company, and he hoped others would aspire to his standards. Suda was grinning from ear to ear. Praising Lin Hui was tantamount to lauding the entire class, a shared honor. This lad had truly brought me pride. Brother, it's all thanks to you. Shan Eru exclaimed excitedly. You are my idol. I aspire to emulate you from now on. Others clapped, their eyes filled with envy, while only Wang Yong wore a sullen expression. He seethed inwardly. Why should this arrogant fellow receive accolades? If he can achieve it, so can I. Lin Hui lamented internally. Instructor, please cease your praise. I merely wish to quietly exist as a leisurely soul. Isn't this inciting animosity against me? This won't do. I must alter my plans, or how else will I survive? Lin Hui resolved that starting tomorrow, a complete transformation was imperative. After dinner, Suda was summoned to the company commander's office. Commander, you called for me? Zhang Jiantao smiled. I've heard the news. It's only the first week, and you've already secured a mobile red flag? Suda chuckled. It's primarily due to those lads' efforts. Do not be modest. They are all fresh recruits. If it weren't for your excellent guidance, what would they know? Zhang Jiantao took a sip of tea and added. It seems that assigning you to lead the new recruits was indeed a wise decision. Even the regiment commander praised you, stating that you are truly a valuable asset. It would be a waste for you to discharge. Suda felt a surge of exhilaration. The commander's words served as a reassurance. It appeared that the prospects of promotion were now firmly established. Zhang Jiantao continued. The assessment day for the new recruits is fast approaching. I wanted to give you a heads up to perform excellently during the evaluation. If you excel, I can submit that report ahead of time. Suda's brows soared with delight. Thank you, Commander. Our class will certainly shine. We aim for first place, never second. He had never anticipated that the promotion plan could be expedited. Initially, he thought he would have to wait until the completion of the training camp, but now it seemed unnecessary. That Lin Hui lad is remarkably impressive. He is truly my lucky star. Zhang Jiantao hesitated for a moment, then said, There's another matter. The recruit I mentioned before. Are you referring to Lin Hui? Yes. That's the one. Zhang Jiantao said seriously. Initially, I believed this lad to be a lost cause, but it appears I misjudged him. If you wish to lead the class effectively and achieve results, you must focus on him. He is a promising talent. Through his observations during this period, he had come to realize that although Lin Hui had entered through connections, he did not exhibit the spoiled habits typical of city dwellers. Not only does he unite the new recruits in the squad, but he also serves as an exemplary leader. It is precisely because of his presence that the first platoon has surpassed others in various aspects within just a few days. This is undoubtedly an auspicious sign. If this momentum continues, achieving accolades will be merely a matter of time. One can never have too many backdoor opportunities for him. Su Dezheng nodded, assuring the squad leader, Rest assured, Commander, I have also noticed that lad. He is indeed a promising soldier. I will devise a way for him to lead the entire squad forward, ensuring we secure first place in the new recruit company. Very well, I await your good news. Suda departed from the commander's office, feeling elated on his way back. As for how to maximize Lin Hui's potential and have him lead the entire squad forward, Suda already had a plan in mind. At 7:30, following the conclusion of the evening news, a squad meeting was convened. Suda summoned everyone. Lin Hui noticed the mischievous smile on his face, which suddenly made him uneasy. Something was amiss. This individual usually wore a grim expression, as if burdened by a million debts. Today, however, his smile was too radiant, indicating something was afoot. Lin Hui. Present. Lin Hui quickly stepped forward. Suda pointed at the others and sternly remarked, Take a good look. We are all here to serve. Yet why is there such a disparity? Let us not discuss anything else. Take the example of making a bed. Wang Yong. What on earth is that bed you've made? It's all lumpy, resembling a giant loaf of bread. Now, look at Lin Hui beside you. How can you bear this? If I were you, I wouldn't even be able to sleep. Damn. Wang Yong cursed inwardly, his face turning an unflattering shade. He was aware that his bed-making skills were not great, but they were not abysmal either. Among so many in the squad, he didn't mind being compared to anyone. Except for Lin Hui. That fellow was merely relying on his family's military background, knowing a little more than others. Given an equal starting point, he was certain he would outshine Lin Hui. Sensing a piercing gaze upon him, Lin Hui swiftly turned his head. Oh no, it's that traitor Wang Yong again. The squad leader said it, not me. Why are you glaring at me? Direct your anger at him. I haven't done anything to provoke you. Suda observed this interaction with a subtle smile playing at the corners of his mouth. From this day forward, each of you will strive to emulate Lin Hui as your benchmark. Follow his example in all that he does. Yes, the others had no objections. As Lin Hui indeed possessed a wealth of knowledge. In just 1 week, he had not only secured a mobile red flag, but had also helped everyone evade punishment. Following his lead seemed reasonable. Chen Era chuckled, brother, if there's anything you don't understand, please teach me. I'm a bit slow on the uptake. Lin Hui smiled broadly. Of course, no problem. However, internally, he began to lament. He finally comprehended Suda's intentions. The commander wished to establish him as a model, using his example to inspire others. Before he could even change his strategy, Suda had already taken action. Oh, the internal struggle of this baby was immense. Especially observing Wang Yong's ravenous demeanor, it was evident that the lad was already intoxicated by ambition. Suda declared solemnly, before long, we will face the first month evaluations for the new recruits. In order for our squad to achieve commendable results, I have decided to eliminate all rest periods during training starting tomorrow. Only those who secure the top position will be entitled to rest. The rest of you shall engage in push-ups or running. Instantly, the expressions of everyone elongated, and grumbling ensued. Come on, squad leader, this is utterly inhumane. Even beasts are afforded moments of respite. Suda coldly retorted, what are you shouting about? If you cannot endure hardship, what right do you have to be a soldier? Once you enter the military, you must obey orders and follow commands. How can you protect your homeland without diligent effort? That is settled then, dismissed. With that, Suda turned and walked away, casting a meaningful glance back at Lin Hui. Lin Hui felt utterly disgruntled. Damn it, am I merely a pawn for your glory? If you succeed this way, I might as well write my name, Lin Hui, backward. Contemplating this, he swiftly summoned everyone together. Gather round, everyone. I have something significant to discuss. What is it? The curious crowd immediately encircled him. Wang Yong remained still, yet his ears perked up involuntarily. What trick are you up to this time? Lin Hui proclaimed loudly, listen up, during tomorrow's training. We cannot maintain the previous level of visibility. We must be as low-key as possible. Chen Era scratched his head. Why is that? Lin Hui rolled his eyes. Did you not hear what the squad leader just said? Only the first place can rest. The rest must continue training. At this rate, who can endure it? Therefore, if we all maintain a uniform level, the squad leader will have no leverage over us. Oh, how did I not think of that? Chen Eru exclaimed, slapping his forehead and chuckling. You really are smarter than the rest of us. Others nodded in agreement, recognizing the wisdom in Lin Hui's words. In a squad of 10, only one could rest, while the other 9 would undoubtedly face punishment. To avoid penalties, they should simply synchronize their efforts. If there was no clear first, then everyone would be deemed first. You make a compelling argument. I will follow your lead. Ma Xiaoshan declared. The others nodded in unison. The squad leader has even encouraged us to learn from you. Following your lead is certainly wise. Wang Yong scoffed dismissively, disregarding Lin Hui's words entirely. Brother. Lin Hui quickly pulled Wang Yong aside. Who the hell is your brother? Get lost. Wang Yong swatted his hand away, coldly replying. Revolutionary comrades are brothers. Lin Hui smiled at the two-faced fellow. Wang Yong, you must remember for tomorrow's training. Keep a low profile and avoid standing out. As before, you should mirror my actions and maintain a similar approach. Why should I? Just because you say so, I must listen? Are you the squad leader? Wang Yong retorted defiantly. Lin Hui replied earnestly. The military is a collective, and besides, the squad leader has just instructed you to align with me. Are you disregarding the squad leader's words? Do you no longer wish to bring honor to our unit? Wang Yong scoffed dismissively, responding perfunctorily. All right, let's do it your way. Good, your assurance brings me comfort. Lin Hui nodded, yet he couldn't shake the feeling that there was something amiss in Wang Yong's gaze, as if he were plotting something sinister. Chapter 10. I truly only wish to be a slacker. Why must I be first? The following morning, as customary, the recruits tidied their quarters and had breakfast before embarking on their morning drills. On the training ground, Suda announced loudly, starting today, before our morning exercises, we will incorporate an additional 3-kilometer run. The sole purpose is to enhance your physical endurance. Immediately, whispers erupted among the recruits. Seriously? Training is already exhausting. Now we have to add a 3-kilometer run. Just shoot me. 3 kilometers? It's a death sentence. Lin Hui remained silent, fully aware that in Yin country, running is fundamental for every soldier. From generals to foot soldiers, everyone must be capable of running, a tradition that has persisted since the era of war. No soldiers in the world can outrun those from Yin country. Lin Hui was well acquainted with this hardship. His father had insisted he run 5 kilometers daily since childhood, punishing him with a belt if he couldn't keep up. Su Da's stern expression was unwavering. What are you mumbling about? In Yin country, every soldier must run. It is the most basic form of physical fitness. If you cannot run, how can you defend your homeland? There is no need for you to be a soldier. Go home and be a good child. Everyone fell silent, refraining from further protest. Wang Yong muttered under his breath, run that fast, what? Are we supposed to escape when the enemy comes? Everything can be tied to defending the homeland. What did you say? Su Da's piercing gaze shot towards him. Wang Yong, frightened, quickly exclaimed, report, squad leader, I meant to say you are absolutely correct. Su Da snorted coldly and continued, as I stated yesterday, from today onward, during training. Only the first place can rest. Everyone else must continue training until they catch up. Understood? Yes. The group replied weakly, while Wang Yong seethed with frustration. This scoundrel. I will surely have my revenge. Lin Hui felt a wave of despair, nearly letting slip a torrent of expletives. Was this not deliberately placing me in opposition to the masses? However, as he scanned the group, he noticed that aside from the dim-witted Wang Yong glaring at him, the others showed little reaction. He felt a sense of relief, thankful that he was well-liked in the squad. Thus Su Da's provocation had little effect. Chun Eru looked at Lin Hui with a pitiful expression. Big brother, what should we do? I definitely can't reach first place. I don't want to be punished. Don't worry, I have a plan. Lin Hui reassured Chun Eru as one would comfort a child. Just listen to me later. All right. Chun Eru sniffed. Looking at Lin Hui with admiration, Lin Hui felt exasperated. This wasn't what he had signed up for. He suddenly realized that he was not here to be a soldier, but rather to play the role of a caretaker. Su Da bellowed, now start running. Everyone, turn right. The recruits immediately turned, despondently running towards the training ground. After covering some distance, Lin Hui finally slowed his pace. Wait, gather around me. As long as we reach the finish line around the same time, the squad leader won't have the heart to punish us. Ma Xiaoshan immediately echoed, excellent. This plan is splendid. As long as we reach the finish line together, we shall all be champions and avoid punishment. Chin Eru, as if he had found a savior, exclaimed, brother, I truly admire you. If I were a woman, I would surely pledge myself to you. Lin Hui rolled his eyes internally, thinking, if you were a woman, I would not want you, looking like a black garlic bulb come to life. The others nodded in agreement, clearly regarding Lin Hui as their leader. As long as they could avoid punishment, anything was acceptable. What are we huddling together for? To keep warm? Let us get moving. Suddenly, a loud shout from Su Da urged everyone to quicken their pace. Lin Hui reiterated to the group, remember, follow my rhythm, and do not lag behind. Before he could finish, a figure darted ahead, faster than a rabbit. Lin Hui squinted, his eyes widening in disbelief. Damn it, it's that scoundrel Wang Yong. Wang Yong, come back. Lin Hui growled, attempting to summon him back. Wang Yong turned back defiantly, retorting, why should I listen to you? You all move at a snail's pace, and I have no intention of waiting. I'm off. He simmered with resentment, thinking, Lin Hui, you think you're impressive just because you can fold a blanket and have someone in your family who served in the military? What is so grand about that? I must prove to everyone that I, Wang Yong, am far superior. With a cheeky grin, he made a face at Lin Hui, then accelerated, leaving everyone behind. Watching the boy disappear into the distance, Lin Hui was fuming, his ears practically steaming. That little rascal. The plan I painstakingly devised has been completely ruined by him. Initially, if everyone maintained a steady pace, they would reach the finish line together. Even if Su Da wanted to vent his anger, he would have no justification. It would have been much better to leisurely enjoy their time together. Why go through all this trouble? Yet, that troublemaker Wang Yong had to disrupt everything and was pulling further ahead. When they reached the 3-kilometer mark, he would be the one praised for coming in first, while the rest of them would undoubtedly face punishment. And the one who would bear the brunt of it would certainly be Lin Hui himself. Growing up in the compound, he understood very well that if a soldier usually excelled but faltered at a critical moment, the consequences would be far more severe for him than for others. Wang Yong, you cunning devil. Lin Hui cursed him internally, while the others began to panic. What do we do? That brat has taken off. Should we chase him? Brother, what is your decision? Are we pursuing or not? Lin Hui gritted his teeth. What else can we do? We absolutely cannot let him pull too far ahead, otherwise he'll have an easy time while we suffer. Chase him, hurry. The others silently cursed Wang Yong as well. But they had no choice but to grit their teeth and pursue. Ding. Running ability level 1. Ding. Running ability level 1. After 2 laps. Two notifications chimed in Lin Hui's mind. He suddenly felt his steps become considerably lighter. By the third lap, he had caught up to Wang Yong. You little brat. Thought you could outrun me? Keep running. Wang Yong was astounded to see Lin Hui catching up to him, his eyes nearly popping out of their sockets. Back in elementary school, he had been the champion of long-distance running, securing first place at the annual sports meet year after year. He even participated in county-level long-distance races and achieved commendable rankings. In terms of running, he prided himself on not being inferior to seasoned veterans. Originally, he intended to impart some life lessons to Lin Hui, hoping to show this self-important fellow what it truly meant to be humbled by others. However, he never anticipated being surpassed so swiftly. Damn it, he absolutely could not allow Lin Hui to overtake him. Gritting his teeth, Wang Yong summoned all his strength to sprint ahead, creating a gap between himself and Lin Hui. Lin Hui's face turned ashen. What the hell? Are you out of your mind? Why are you running so fast? Can't you wait for everyone to run together? We are a collective, after all. A collective? You old fool. Those who fall behind get punished. The class leader made that abundantly clear. Wang Yong shouted back, I refuse to run with you. I shall prove that I am inherently superior. What a stubborn mule. Lin Hui cursed inwardly, but knew he had to keep pursuing. If Wang Yong finished first, he would be the one left in disgrace. Suddenly, a notification chimed. Running ability increased by 1. Lin Hui felt lighter on his feet, and with minimal effort, he caught up to Wang Yong. To irritate Wang Yong further, Lin Hui maintained just enough distance to keep him from overtaking, leaving him frustrated and anxious. Under the shade of a tree, Suda was nearly grinning from ear to ear. Oh, look at that. The competition has begun. Now this feels right. What kind of soldier doesn't he strive for excellence? I never realized Lin Hui possessed such explosive energy. It seems victory is all but assured. He then glanced at the other students in Class 1. Although they were considerably slower than Wang Yong and Lin Hui, they were still outperforming students from other classes, far exceeding his expectations. Su Da's spirits lifted. It seems bringing Lin Hui out as a target was indeed effective. Results are showing on the very first day. Excellent. At this rate, it wouldn't be long before Class 1's performance soared. By then, not only would they be recognized, but even a third-class merit would be more than sufficient. Before long, Lin Hui was the first to cross the finish line, with Wang Yong trailing about 10 seconds behind. He glared fiercely at Lin Hui, panting heavily. If we run again, I absolutely will not lose. Lin Hui rolled his eyes. Defeated once, you would lose the same way 10 times over. Wang Yong, infuriated, clenched his fists as his desire to surpass Lin Hui steadily intensified. Next time, he was determined to outpace him. Soon after, the other students from Class 1 returned. Breathless and collapsing onto the ground, Suda, with his hands behind his back, approached Lin Hui and patted him on the shoulder. You may rest. As for the others, prepare for 100 push-ups. Ma Xiaoshan grimaced. Class leader, we have given it our all. Chun Eru lay sprawled like a defeated dog, gasping. Class leader, could we have a moment to recover? The regulations state we need a few minutes of rest after intense exercise, or we might risk collapsing. Seems you know the rules quite well, Suda shot back. The regulations also state that one must strictly obey commands from superiors. Whatever the class leader says goes. Everyone. 100 push-ups, prepare immediately, or face 200. Upon hearing the prospect of 200, the group scrambled to the ground, hands braced against the earth, and commenced their push-ups with labored breaths. Wang Yong glared at Lin Hui, who was resting nearby, and gritted his teeth. Don't get too complacent. Next time, fortune may not favor you. Lin Hui rolled his eyes, pondering whether this boy had been somewhat dim-witted since childhood, fixating so earnestly on competition. You brought this upon yourself for disregarding my commands, he thought. However, this predicament weighed heavily on the rest of the class. What had they done to deserve this? From that day forth, Wang Yong became like a vengeful spirit, fixated on Lin Hui. He had to eat faster than him, stand more impeccably, march in perfect formation. Every training session became a battleground for supremacy, as if a needle was pitted against a grain of wheat. The moment Lin Hui showed the slightest hint of relaxation, Wang Yong would swiftly overtake him. Lin Hui found himself at a loss for words. He had seen foolishness before, but never such utter absurdity. Reluctantly, he braced himself against Wang Yong's relentless pursuit. Otherwise, his own life would be equally unbearable. Yet, to his astonishment, Wang Yong only grew more addicted to the competition. Like a relentless warrior, he charged at Lin Hui, leaving him in a state of distress. A month sped by, and the new recruit evaluations arrived as scheduled. Thanks to his exceptional military prowess, Lin Hui claimed first place in the company without exception and was recognized as a model recruit, receiving commendations from the entire platoon. This was achieved even while he intentionally held back his abilities. Gazing at the certificate, Lin Hui felt tears welling. I merely wished to be a slacker. I never intended to be the best. He glanced at Wang Yong, who wore an expression of indignation, and couldn't help but curse. It's all your fault, you foolish idiot. Forcing me to grow stronger. This could not continue. Otherwise, trouble was inevitable. Chapter 11. The invitation from the elite 6th Company Lin Hui. Here. Lin Hui turned to see Su De approaching with a cheerful smile. You need to report to the company headquarters immediately. The commander is looking for you. Lin Hui was taken aback. What could the commander want with me? Su De glared at him. Should the commander come to report to you? Of course. It's something good. Hurry up. Lin Hui rolled his eyes. He was already in the spotlight and had no desire for further attention. Did you hear that? Yes. Squad leader. An order is an order, and Lin Hui reluctantly made his way to the commander's office. As soon as he left, Su De turned to the remaining members of Class 1 and said, in the first month of evaluations, Lin Hui alone has achieved results equivalent to an entire class. He has broken several records and brought great honor to us. Look at him, and then look at yourselves. Why can't you learn from him? Now, everyone, get down for 100 push-ups. Shun Eru immediately dropped to the ground and began his push-ups with fervor, shouting, learning from him. I want to shine like my brother. I want to bring glory to Class 1. Wang Yang's lips twitched. The more he watched Shun Eru, the more he felt he resembled a fool. How could one be so happy about being punished with push-ups? Was he out of his mind? He should be learning from me, not Lin Hui. Laozi also works diligently and earnestly. Wang Yang fixed his gaze on the direction Lin Hui had departed, clenching his fists. Lin Hui, just you wait. Next time I will surely surpass you. If that doesn't work, I will certainly exceed you in the following attempt. The more Wang Yang pondered, the angrier he became. And he shouted in frustration, report. Speak. Class leader, I request an additional 100. Su De, with a beaming smile, replied, granted. Everyone else, take a page from Wang Yang's book, understand? If you fall behind, you will face the consequences, so you better step up your practice. Wang Yang, as if someone had stepped on his tail, dropped to the ground and fervently began doing push-ups, fueled by an indomitable spirit. Su De observed him, his smile radiant as a blooming flower. He had discovered that whenever Lin Hui was mentioned, this young lad would transform into a relentless competitor, tirelessly pursuing his goal. Over these days, not only had Wang Yang made remarkable progress, but Lin Hui had also been propelled forward like a rabbit. In this fierce rivalry between the two, the entire class was unwittingly motivated, with everyone becoming more industrious. It was not that they desired to work harder. It was simply understood that if they did not strive to close the gap, they would ultimately be the ones facing penalties. Meanwhile, anguished cries echoed from other classes. Lin Hui arrived outside the office of the company commander. Knock, knock, knock. Enter. Upon pushing the door open, Lin Hui saluted the two men. Good day, commander. Good day. Instructor. Wang Hai set down the military report and circled around Lin Hui twice. Lin Hui, you're quite impressive. Not only did you secure the first month's assessment champion in the recruit company, but you also shattered the 3-kilometer run record. This record had remained unbroken for 3 years. You truly are remarkable, bringing us a significant achievement. Lin Hui listened with a forced smile, feeling an inexplicable discomfort within. He had no desire to win any championship or break any records. He was entirely compelled by that fool Wang Yang. Were it not for his incessant pursuit, as if afflicted by rabies, would the system have triggered repeatedly, transforming him into someone so formidable? What happened to the plan of enduring 2 years and then indulging in a life of revelry? Had he so quickly forgotten his original intentions? Zhang Jiantao coughed, stepping awkwardly in front of Lin Hui. I apologize, Lin. Lin Hui was momentarily taken aback, almost doubting his hearing. This fellow actually apologized to him? From the moment he arrived at the recruit company, this man had taken a disliking to him, conspiring with Su De, one playing the role of the good cop, the other the bad cop, secretly plotting to get rid of him. What had he consumed to suddenly feel the need to apologize? Wang Hai suddenly burst into laughter, breaking the awkward silence. All right, old Zhang, just say what you need to say. Being overly sentimental isn't your style. Zhang Jiantao took a deep breath and looked seriously at Lin Hui. Comrade Lin Hui, I must sincerely apologize to you. When I first arrived, due to my lack of understanding, I harbored some biases and displayed an unpleasant attitude. I hope you can forgive me. The first time I met you, I truly believed you to be an incompetent soldier, yet I now realize I was mistaken. You are indeed a commendable soldier. Wang Hai punched him playfully on the chest. Chuckling, now that's more like it. Acknowledging one's mistakes is the hallmark of a great squad leader. At that moment, Lin Hui's mind went blank. This is a disaster. If even the squad leader admits to his errors, what does that make me? I thought I had been sufficiently restrained, yet somehow, I still managed to slip up. Even Zhang Jiantao, who is typically a hothead, has begun to ingratiate himself, lowering his head in apology. This is bound to lead to significant trouble in the future. Lin Hui internally screamed, I don't want your approval. Just see me as the cowardly soldier I am. Please, spare me your politeness. Yet reality is often cruel, and he was now viewed as an exemplary soldier. Seeing that Lin Hui remained silent, Zhang Jiantao assumed he was still sulking and patted him on the shoulder, saying, Shaolin, I hope you can understand that I am merely an ordinary soldier, lacking in knowledge beyond my duty to lead each soldier well. You are one of the few exceptional soldiers I have encountered, and I previously misjudged you, viewing you through a distorted lens. Taking a deep breath, he continued earnestly. The new recruit battalion is merely the beginning. Once you are assigned to the company, that is when your true potential will unfold. You will be allocated to the various regiments of the 602nd. Our Tiger Brigade is the spearhead of the 602nd, with a storied and glorious history. We have successfully annihilated 3,462 enemies in past battles, with victories too numerous to count. Our elite 6th company is the sharpest blade of the entire brigade. Soldiers of your caliber will be sought after to join our ranks, allowing you to fully unleash your capabilities. Wang Hai nudged Lin Hui with a smile. Aren't you going to thank the squad leader? The elite unit is a coveted place that countless individuals strive to enter. Not everyone has this opportunity. Lin Hui forced a smile, thinking, thank you very much. Who in their right mind wants to join the Tiger Brigade or the elite 6th company? I am merely a timid soldier. Please forget about me. Zhang Jiantao misinterpreted Lin Hui's strained smile as being overwhelmed by the good news, believing he was still in a state of excitement. Wang Hai, trying to smooth things over, remarked, it's all right. It's normal for new comrades to take a moment to process things. After all, joining the elite unit implies greater responsibility and pressure. He looked at Lin Hui, speaking earnestly. Shaolin, don't feel burdened. Just focus on your training and attend to your duties. The squad leader's comments were casual. The final outcome will depend on your assessment results. If you do not meet the standards, you will not be accepted. Understood. Lin Hui awkwardly nodded. He truly could not afford to improve any further. If the new recruit battalion concluded and he was indeed assigned to this elite unit, he would face a relentless future. Yet, how could he possibly avoid progress? Lin Hui was tormented by the thought, while others were racking their brains on how to advance. He was the only one preoccupied with how to fall behind. If Wang Yang were to hear this, he would surely be infuriated to the point of spitting blood. Zhang Jiantao turned his head and said, the reason I called you here today is to discuss these matters. Shortly, the regiment will bestow upon you a commendation, and all the new recruits will be encouraged to learn from you. Do not let this go to your head. You must continue to strive. Yes, company commander. Lin Hui replied, saluting before reluctantly turning away. He had initially hoped for a low-profile existence, but now, with the regiment's commendation, he would become the focal point for new recruits to emulate. How could he maintain a low profile under such circumstances? The prospect of being in the limelight was becoming increasingly daunting. Lin Hui trembled at the thought, as his true fear lay with his father, knowing his father's character. If he were to discover that his son had suddenly become so accomplished, he would undoubtedly arrange for him to remain in the military indefinitely. I don't want that. Lin Hui lamented, his expression sorrowful. No, I must fall behind. I want to be a dandy. Chapter 12. You are truly a simpleton upon leaving the company headquarters. Lin Hui felt as wilted as a frostbitten eggplant. While others would revel in such an invitation, eager for everyone to know, Lin Hui felt a profound bitterness. He longed to be the inconspicuous star quietly shining in the night sky, one that was neither missed nor mourned. How had things escalated so dramatically? He had aimed for a life of modesty, yet it seemed he was now destined for the spotlight. If this momentum continued, joining that so-called Sharp Blade Company would undoubtedly lead to turbulent waters ahead. The military operates as a vast sieve. The more exceptional you are, the more attention you attract, along with heavier burdens of responsibility. Since childhood, Lin Hui had heard his father speak of two types of soldiers: those who merely bide their time, waiting for discharge to secure employment, and those who are fervently passionate about the military, striving relentlessly to ascend. The Sharp Blade Company is the elusive dream for the latter group. In the military, to be labeled as sharp is no trivial matter. This unit serves as a blade against enemies but wields a scalpel against its own. Those who enter may emerge battered, if they emerge at all. Lin Hui shook his head, thinking, it's a place akin to a dungeon. Only a fool would wish to go there. Why not enjoy a stable 2 years, and then emerge as the wealthy heir I was meant to be? The thought of the original owner's treasures, a fleet of million-dollar Lamborghinis, Ferraris, a seaside villa gifted by his mother, a yacht, and an endlessly funded black card, along with the devoted maiden patiently awaiting him, stirred something deep within Lin Hui's heart. He gazed up at the heavens, unable to suppress his feelings. Father, I know you mean well and want me to hone my skills in the military. But I must confess, the temptations of the world are far too great for me to bear. For the sake of a brighter future, I must remain inconspicuous from this moment onward. It is a shame, however, that all my previous plans are now rendered obsolete. With this thought, Lin Hui felt a surge of frustration. It's all that fool Wang Yang's fault. If it weren't for his meddling, my life would be so much more pleasant right now. I would never have received that ridiculous invitation to the Sharp Blade Company. Who even wants that? But with matters as they stood, he had no choice but to devise another plan. Lin Hui's eyes darted around as he thought. In the first squad, aside from that foolish Wang Yong, nearly everyone listens to me. If I can unite them under a common purpose, directing them to adopt a more modest demeanor will be effortless. He had already discerned the strengths and weaknesses of the others. Joining the military was merely a means to secure a job after discharge. No one desired to endure hardship during these 2 years. After all, it is human nature to seek ease. Those who relish suffering are truly unnatural. With the others aligned with Lin Hui, he felt no apprehension, save for Wang Yong, whose thought processes were distinctly unconventional. However, this single-minded lad could be easily swayed. If Lin Hui simply humbled himself a bit and sincerely acknowledged a mistake, he had no doubt Wang Yong would relent. Lin Hui understood that Wang Yong was driven by a desire to prove himself, feeling overshadowed by Lin Hui's presence. Since that was the case, why not indulge him? A slight concession on his part would allow Wang Yong to bask in victory, and then he would certainly be under Lin Hui's control. When that time came, the first squad could joyfully return to their languid existence. With a strategy in mind, Lin Hui felt a surge of optimism as he cheerfully headed toward the dormitory. Attention! As Lin Hui stepped through the door, he was startled by a loud command. Suda bellowed, "Salute." Before Lin Hui could grasp the situation, the entire squad stood in unison, saluting him. Lin Hui was taken aback. What was happening? Suda marched up to him, his gaze intense. "Lin Hui, congratulations. You have received an invitation to join the Tiger Regiment's elite squad. That is not a place just anyone can aspire to enter. This is not only an honor for new recruits, but also the aspiration of every seasoned soldier." Lin Hui was stunned. Goodness. Good news travels slowly, while bad news spreads like wildfire. He had only just spoken with the company commander. How could word have reached the squad so swiftly? Was it via rocket? Suda continued earnestly. "Do you understand what it means to be accepted into the elite squad? It signifies unparalleled glory. Even seasoned veterans must vie fiercely for a spot there, as entry requires not just strength, but also innate talent. The elite squad is a sanctuary for the most formidable. Only the best can gain entry." He shifted his tone, laughing triumphantly, "And I am the squad leader there. Once you join, I welcome you to report to our squad." Haha. Lin Hui's lips twitched in irritation. So after all that, it was merely self-promotion? Furthermore, who desired to encounter him again? He had no interest in that wretched squad or serving under him. It would be best if they never crossed paths again. Suda turned to address the others. "From now on, Lin Hui will be your role model. Although you may lack his talent and abilities, I firmly believe that diligence can compensate for shortcomings, and the early bird catches the worm. Starting today, if any of you surpass him, you will no longer need to report for rest during training. You may rest whenever and wherever you like." Lin Hui nearly erupted in frustration. "Squad leader, could you please be quiet? You can encourage them without constantly dragging me into it. It breeds animosity and disrupts our unity." Sure enough, as soon as he finished speaking, a sharp glare fixed itself upon him. Once again, it's that foolish Wang Yong. Lin Hui truly yearned to deliver a sharp slap to awaken him. How could he not see such an obvious provocation? Clearly, they were using me to incite you. We are exhausting ourselves in this relentless struggle, fighting tooth and nail, while all the benefits, honors, and accolades are being claimed by that little rascal Suda. What do we gain from this? Suda coughed lightly and looked at Lin Hui. "Lin Hui, you must not let a minor achievement lead you to arrogance. Should your performance decline, I will pay special attention to you." Lin Hui smiled and nodded, wishing to sing to him. Listen to me say thank you. If heaven granted him another chance, he would have preferred to confront the class leader from the very beginning, admitting that he was merely a bare soldier, not cut out for the role of a good soldier. But now, it was too late for such words. One misstep leads to another. He could only begin to remedy the situation from this point onward. Having said what needed to be said, it was time to gather downstairs and resume training. As Suda departed, everyone immediately flocked to Lin Hui. "Lin Hui, you are just too impressive. I've heard that the Sharp Blade 6th Company of the Tiger Regiment is the most formidable unit in our 602, exclaimed Chen Eru, his eyes reddening with emotion. He truly feared that if Lin Hui joined the Sharp Blade Company, he would be left behind. Since entering the army, Lin Hui had acted like an older brother, teaching him how to make his bed and maintain order, helping him integrate into this large collective. This was Chen Eru's first time venturing far from home, utterly oblivious to the outside world and the regulations of military life. Without Lin Hui, he would likely have been the worst performing recruit, suffering the harshest penalties. The others burst into laughter at his demeanor. "Eru, do you think you can just go to the Sharp Blade Company? Only a handful from the entire recruit company can be selected, and Lin Hui is the only one in our class with such capability." Lin Hui waved his hand dismissively. "Let us keep a low profile. It's merely an invitation, and I have no plans to go." Although his words were candid, they sounded like humility to others. Mao Xiaoshan immediately expressed his admiration. Brother Hui, could you perhaps lend a hand and teach us a bit more, so we can also progress? Even if we learn just a fraction of what you know, it would be beneficial. A soldier nearby nodded in agreement. Yes, yes. Even if we cannot join the Sharp Blade Company, we certainly don't want to be assigned to feed pigs. The crowd surrounded Lin Hui, showering him with praises and laughter. Wang Yong's face turned a deep shade of crimson, his eyes wide as saucers. He had always been resentful of Lin Hui, and hearing about his invitation to the Sharp Blade Company made him feel like a heated gas canister. Lin Hui sighed silently. Indeed, jealousy can distort one's appearance. A conversation with this fellow is imperative, or who knows what mischief he might concoct. He cleared his throat. All right, let us hurry downstairs to gather for training. Good. The group quickly packed their belongings and headed downstairs. Lin Hui stood at the door, waiting for Wang Yong to approach, and then seized him firmly. What are you doing? Wang Yong pushed him away with force. Lin Hui was well aware of the character of this individual and chose not to dwell on it too much. With a smile, he said, Comrade Wang Yong, I believe there must be some misunderstanding between us. Wang Yong sneered. Indeed, there is a misunderstanding. He retorted angrily. In the eyes of the squad leader, you are a genius, while the rest of us are treated like fools. The squad leader even wants us to learn from you. I fail to see what makes you so intelligent. Although Lin Hui felt displeased, he plastered a smile on his face for the sake of his own peace. The squad leader is the squad leader. What does he know? Haven't you heard? Our squad leader has a low educational background and clearly didn't study well in his youth. Little did he know that our brother Yong is a dragon among men, endowed with extraordinary talent, a warrior reborn. Wang Yong glared at him, remaining vigilant, unsure of the tricks this fellow might be up to. Lin Hui launched a series of sugary compliments, chuckling as he said, Brother Yong, listen to me. The misunderstandings between us were deliberately instigated by the squad leader. I have always held you in high regard. In my eyes, you are the epitome of masculinity, purer than the purest. That Terminator fellow? No. The actor in Terminator is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Lin Hui corrected himself earnestly, but that is of little importance. Both of those gentlemen, in my heart, stand shoulder to shoulder with you as true tough men. Therefore, I propose that we refrain from internal strife and maintain a harmonious atmosphere. It is far better to live peacefully and humbly. Wang Yong coldly laughed. Do you truly think me a fool? Lin Hui was taken aback, feeling somewhat embarrassed. Wang Yong's words were sharp. Do you genuinely believe I would be swayed by your words? Brainwashed? Do you think I lack common sense? You present one facade while harboring another behind my back. Do you think I am unaware of your whispers about my origins? Bah. You think you can corrode me with your sweet talk. Wang Yong spat, his demeanor fierce. Just you wait. I will not back down. I will see you crushed beneath my feet. As Wang Yong stormed out without a backward glance, Lin Hui felt a surge of frustration. What a foolish creature. Unwilling to accept comfort or elevation, truly deluded into thinking of himself as a tough guy. Chapter 13. A physical domination downstairs at the dormitory. The first class had mostly assembled. Lin Hui hastily ran over, positioning himself at the front of the line. Suda glanced at him and nodded, saying nothing. Wang Yong was immediately infuriated. Had anyone else arrived last, they would surely have faced punishment and reprimand. Why was Lin Hui exempt from such consequences? Is there no fairness? No justice? Wang Yong glared at Lin Hui. So, you are enjoying special privileges, are you? Fine, I will fight for that privilege and see how proud you remain. Sudo addressed everyone loudly. Today we will learn a new subject. Crawling. The faces of the crowd instantly brightened with smiles. They had long since grown weary of standing at attention and marching in formation. Finally, they could learn something different. Chun Eru's eyes sparkled with excitement. Crawling? Is it like in the movies, where the hero blows up a bunker? I've seen that on television. Lin Hui chuckled. Eru, in his naivety, genuinely believed that crawling was something fun. This is a genuine tactical maneuver, distinct from the previous rudimentary formations. The act of crawling forward is typically categorized into three types: low crawl, high crawl, and side crawl. During this progression, one must keep the body close to the ground, utilizing the strength of arms and legs to propel oneself forward. Although it may appear straightforward, it is, in fact, incredibly taxing physically. Even seasoned veterans, when burdened, can scarcely manage a few repetitions. In contrast, for new recruits, even with minimal gear, traversing 100 meters can be utterly exhausting. More critically, crawling forward is time-sensitive. One must reach the designated endpoint within a stipulated time frame, executing the movements with precision and correctness to be deemed competent. It is not merely a matter of lying on the ground and sluggishly crawling like a dog. Lin Hui sighed in resignation, with tactical drills now in place. It seems that brighter days are behind us. The thought of Wang Yong, that incessant pest, constantly scrutinizing him, only heightened his agitation. Damn it. How can this fool be so thick-headed? Suda continued. Now, I will commence the introduction of the essentials of crawling forward. When crawling, the body must remain close to the ground, using the strength of the hands and legs to propel the entire body forward. Once the explanation was concluded, Suda ushered everyone to the training field. I won't take you out to the wild just yet. However, it rained last night, so the ground is wet, resembling the outdoor conditions quite closely. Enough talk, let us commence the training. Everyone get down. The new recruits exchanged glances. Although most hailed from rural backgrounds, they were not accustomed to rolling in the mud. They were not pigs in a sty. Cleanliness was still a concern for them. Moreover, dirty clothes meant extra hassle for washing. Ma Xiaoshan cautiously inquired, "Squad leader, this ground is too filthy. Could we possibly find a drier spot? I'm worried about soiling my uniform." Suda shot him a glare. A grown man afraid of dirt? This is training, not a game. Get down immediately. As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Yong abruptly dropped to the ground with a thud, landing directly in a puddle. The splash of muddy water drenched Lin Hui and the others' trousers, inciting a near eruption of curses among them. "Squad leader, what is next?" Wang Yong shouted from his prone position. Lin Hui's eyes widened in disbelief. "What the hell? Are you addicted to this or something?" Suda wore a satisfied smile, ready to speak, but Lin Hui, without uttering a word, also dropped down, splattering Wang Yong with mud, and his voice was louder. "Squad leader, what now?" Suda was overjoyed, pointing to the others. "Did you see that? When I said get down, they got down. This is the demeanor a soldier should possess. You all need to align yourselves with them." Wang Yong grimaced, glaring fiercely at Lin Hui. Lin Hui, undeterred, returned the gaze. Since this fellow had no regard for face, Lin Hui resolved to conquer him physically. "I am a man of systems. You think you can outlast me? If you want to play, I'll play until the end and exhaust you." Wang Yong gritted his teeth in anger. "Fine, just don't back down. Whoever falters first and concedes is the one who is a coward. Dear grandson, I have no red envelope money for you." Lin Hui's words nearly made Wang Yong spit blood in exasperation. He longed to tear this guy's mouth apart. Suda watched with delight, finding the rivalry between the two boys increasingly entertaining. "Let me demonstrate first. Observe closely." With that, Suda swiftly threw himself forward. And at the very moment his body was about to meet the ground, he propped himself up with both hands. Like a lizard, he quickly crawled forward using both hands and feet. Even Lin Hui couldn't help but silently applaud, as expected from an elite unit. The tactical movements are both stunning and precise. Soon, Suda had completed a back-and-forth crawl. "All right," he stood up without a crease on his brow. "Did you all see that? Pay attention to the techniques I just displayed. Utilize the strength of your arms and legs to propel your body. Do not rely on just one part." The crowd nodded reluctantly, dropping to the grass. "Now, we begin low crawling training. Crawl." As soon as Suda finished speaking, Wang Yong sprang forward like a large grasshopper. Lin Hui was undeterred, immediately charging out as well. He had come to realize that this guy was as stubborn as a mule, single-minded in his approach. Convincing him was practically impossible. The only way to make him see the vast gap in their abilities was to utterly crush him in performance. Only then would Wang Yong voluntarily concede and refrain from opposing him. Beep. Low crawl 1. Beep. Low crawl 1. After one round, Lin Hui heard the prompt sound twice in his mind. His movements became increasingly proficient, and he soon surpassed Wang Yong, reaching the finish line ahead. Turning back, he said nonchalantly, "I gave you a chance, yet you can't keep up even when I slow down? Perhaps it's best to admit defeat." Wang Yong was furious enough to burst. "Don't be so smug. I slipped just now. Otherwise, you would have definitely been left behind. Come on then. Let us do this again." Lin Hui rolled his eyes, thinking he truly was asking for a beating. In the distance, Suda was nearly bursting with laughter. He relished seeing the competitive spirit between the two, for it was through such rivalry that they could improve swiftly, uplifting the entire class in the process. Once the crawling training concluded, they moved on to a 3-kilometer run. Lin Hui decided to skip any rest and directly challenge Wang Yong. Beep. Running ability 1. The system upgraded his running ability once more, but after surpassing Wang Yong, he did not rush to widen the gap. Instead, he maintained a distance of 1 meter, just to irritate the lad. "Aren't you capable? Come on, chase me." Wang Yong, infuriated, shouted back. "You bastard, don't be so arrogant. I will catch up to you eventually." Lin Hui retorted cheekily. "You better step it up, you little mutt. I'll make you pay." Wang Yong's veins bulged with rage as he desperately pursued. The fervor of this determined runner spurred Lin Hui on, making him run faster than a rabbit. In the blink of an eye, the second month's new recruit assessment came to an end. On the day the results were announced, Suda walked cheerfully towards the class. Class 1. Suda turned around, only to find several class leaders surrounding him. "What is going on?" the 5th class leader exclaimed, giving a thumbs up from afar. "Old class leader, you are incredibly impressive." The 2nd class leader chimed in. "Of course the old class leader is remarkable. After all, it was he who brought you up. Without him, would you be where you are now?" Exactly, well said. The fifth class leader nodded vigorously. Old class leader. Lin Hui and Wang Yong from your class ranked first and second in this assessment. Apart from that wooden fellow, Chen Eru, the entire class performed excellently. Class 1 had the highest overall score in the entire regiment. How did you achieve this? Indeed, old class leader, please share your wisdom with us. The other class leaders were eager to learn from him. Su Da's delight was palpable, his smile unwavering. As long as you all work diligently and hold yourselves to high standards, you can cultivate excellent soldiers. In the army, there are no poor soldiers. Only with the right methods can we inspire them to advance. Everyone nodded, as if absorbing profound wisdom. The second-class leader suddenly slapped his forehead. All right, I almost forgot the important matter. The company commander is calling for you. A surge of joy rushed through Suda. The 2-month assessment had concluded, and the company commander had previously promised him a commendation. Surely, this time it would come to fruition. Without further thought, Suda hurried towards the company office. He knocked and entered the office, his steps light and face beaming with joy, an unexpected smile illuminating his usually stern demeanor. Good day, company commander. Good day, instructor. Wang Hai put down his pen and turned with a cheerful grin. Look at our big, black wooden block. Even he is smiling today. It seems that good fortune brings joy. Zhang Jiantao burst into hearty laughter, leading the entire class to become the top of the new recruits. If it were me, I would wake up from laughter in my dreams. Wang Hai approached him. It's you, Suda. Though your education may not be extensive, your ability to lead troops is indeed commendable. Suda humbly replied, Instructor, company commander, you flatter me. I have merely learned from you to achieve these results. Stop the nonsense. Zhang Jiantao rolled his eyes. It's clearly your own capability. No need for false humility or to put us on a pedestal. We hardly require it. He waved his hand dismissively. All right, enough bragging. Let me share some good news with you. Suda immediately perked up, his face radiating anticipation. Zhang Jiantao casually stated, I submitted that report a month ago, originally intending to commend you. However, the regiment commander suggested waiting until after the new recruits training is concluded. Just now, I made a call to request again. Can you guess what the regiment commander said? As the company commander built suspense, Suda felt a surge of anxiety. Was it approved? Did the regiment commander agree? Zhang Jiantao chuckled. The regiment commander's intention is to hold off on the commendation for now. After the 3rd month's assessment concludes, you will be directly awarded a 3rd-class merit. Suda was overwhelmed with joy. A 3rd-class merit. Does that mean I can be promoted directly? Zhang Jiantao nodded affirmatively. Of course, you need not worry. It's the final month. Give it your all, and don't falter. Yes. Suda saluted with excitement. I will certainly push myself harder to break the regiment record. Zhang Jiantao and Wang Hai exchanged glances, amusement evident in their eyes. Wow, you certainly have some grand aspirations, don't you? If he could break the entire regiment's record, then his promotion would not merely be to 2nd lieutenant. He might leap directly to 1st lieutenant. Su Dale was utterly bewildered. 2nd lieutenant. There were certainly many who had enlisted from his village, yet none had ever attained such a high rank. If he could become a 1st lieutenant, it would truly be a source of great pride for his family. Suda made a silent vow to practice diligently upon his return, ensuring that he would not falter. Little did he realize that reality often dances to a contrary tune. Chapter 14. A Father's Pride, A Tiger's Sun Evening. The office of the 602nd Division Headquarters. Division Commander Lu Qingsong was on the phone. Old Chief, I only just learned that your son has come to the 602nd, and he is already distinguishing himself in the recruit company. Truly, a tiger begets no dog. Lin Guangyao's face broke into a smile. This lad had indeed shown some progress. He replied coolly, it is only natural for one to change upon entering the military. There is nothing to boast about. Once the recruit company concludes, find him a challenging environment to hone his skills. Lu Qingsong nodded. The Tiger Regiment's elite 6th Company is the toughest and most arduous training ground in our division. The company commander there happens to be the same as their current recruit leader. His performance will surely qualify him for 6th Company. We can transfer him directly. Lin Guangyao inclined his head slightly. The 6th Company of the Tiger Regiment, he recalled hearing of it. During the war years, they had annihilated countless enemies but also suffered tremendous losses. By the end, they nearly lost their entire formation. It was a unit with a truly glorious history. Let him endure this rigorous training. The recruit company is merely the beginning. Only after joining a real company can a soldier truly shine and demonstrate their worth. Lu Qingsong said with a smile, rest assured, old leader. If Lin Hui maintains his current performance, he will receive focused attention in the 6th Company. As long as he achieves results, I will strive to secure his promotion within a year. Lin Guangyao snorted. Do not relax your standards merely because of my influence. Maintain strict discipline. The military is a place that demands combat readiness, not a venue for personal connections. Do you understand? Yes, leader. Lu Qingsong promptly nodded in response. After hanging up, A rare smile graced Lin Guangyao's face. His son had only been in the military for 2 months, yet he had shown such significant change. It would be disingenuous to say he was not pleased. Lin Rui, seated on the opposite sofa, smiled and asked, "Dad, it's been a while since I've seen you this joyful. Is it about the third?" Lin Guangyao turned his head with a hearty laugh. "This lad has indeed not disappointed me. He has excelled since entering the army, topping all his assessments." Lin Rui chuckled heartily. "Little Hui has always had considerable talent. He is quite clever. To be honest, there are times I feel I cannot measure up to him. Though he may have wandered aimlessly before, once he finds his motivation to survive, he will undoubtedly change for the better." Lin Guangyao's tone turned serious. What more reason does one need to survive? During the war, so many predecessors fought valiantly, laying down their lives without hesitation. What justification did they require? Was it not to protect their homeland and shield it from oppression? Many individuals are accustomed to a life of ease, having grown up in a cocoon of comfort, oblivious to hardship. This generation has forgotten the origins of their present prosperity, preoccupied solely with indulgence and leisure. Lin Rui chuckled softly. "Father, one cannot make such sweeping statements. Each generation possesses its own ideology. The youth have not endured the harsh realities of the past. Born under a red banner and nurtured in the warmth of spring, they have entered a world of abundance. Is this not what our ancestors longed to witness?" Lin Guangyao nodded slightly, acknowledging the truth in his words. "Indeed. Our forebears shed their blood and sacrificed their lives so that future generations would never again endure the agony of war, allowing them to live in peace. If they could witness the modern populace, well-fed and sheltered, free from oppression, they would surely be pleased." He spoke earnestly. "Xiao Hui is different from others. He is a son of the Lin family. While others may seek pleasure and leisure, you cannot. You are born with the blood of a soldier coursing through your veins, destined to inherit your forebears' arms and uphold their legacy in safeguarding the people. The comfortable life you enjoy has been purchased with the blood and lives of our ancestors, and it is imperative that he understands the arduous journey that has led to this reality. However, that rascal has shown some obedience, performing commendably after joining the military, thus not disappointing me." Lin Rui smiled. The younger generation harbors their own aspirations. After Xiao Hui entered the army, he undoubtedly felt the atmosphere of camaraderie, awakening the soldier's spirit inherent in our lineage. He will surely grow into a better version of himself. Lin Guangyao nodded, a silent smile gracing his face. Having enlisted at a young age, he dedicated his life to the nation and its people. At times, he would be absent from home for months, as if he had taken root within the military. Although he felt guilty towards his wife and children, witnessing the nation's prosperity filled him with unwavering resolve. Lin Guangyao took a deep breath. "As long as Xiao Hui dedicates himself to the military, achieving distinction, I shall humbly seek assistance to pave a path for him, ensuring his prosperous future." Suddenly, with a bang, the kitchen door swung open. Jiang Lanying entered the living room with a stern expression, casually placing a fruit platter on the coffee table. "You old fool, all you do is plan the future for the children according to your own whims. The eldest is to be a soldier, the second a soldier, and the third cannot even aspire to his own life." Lin Guangyao felt a wave of embarrassment wash over him. "My dear, allow me to explain. I only wish what is best for him." Jiang Lanying glared. "Nonsense. You cast him into the military to endure suffering, claiming it is for his benefit? If you truly cared for him, you would let him live the life he desires. You, with your old military mindset, are so troublesome." Lin Rui, feeling the tension, quickly sought an excuse to leave. "Well then, Mom and Dad, there are matters to attend to in the army. I shall take my leave." Sensing the brewing storm, he wished to avoid being caught in the crossfire. After Lin Rui departed, Lin Guangyao's face flushed with embarrassment. "I am merely guiding Xiao Hui to continue our family's legacy. Is that not reasonable? Furthermore, what is wrong with entering the military? Gaining experience will undoubtedly benefit him in the future. Besides, the blood of soldiers runs deep in our family. His time in the army will allow him to fully realize his potential, certainly offering greater opportunities than elsewhere." "Nonsense." Jiang Lanying, with arms crossed, plopped down onto the sofa and exclaimed, "Why can't he inherit my business and learn how to manage it properly?" Although Xiao Hui was playful, he had always been sensible. I entrusted him with 2 business ventures in private, and he handled them remarkably well. With proper guidance, he would undoubtedly become a commercial elite in the future. Frustrated, she continued, "What? Does he have to be in the military to be considered successful? Can't he contribute to society in the civilian world? Look at our group. Over the years, we have contributed significantly through taxes, charity, poverty alleviation, and donations. We are equally dedicated to giving back to society. Whenever the country needed financial support or effort, I was always at the forefront. If you let Xiao Hui follow me, wouldn't he also achieve success?" Lin Guangyao was left speechless. He was adept at warfare, but woefully inadequate at handling disputes with his wife. With a wry smile, he replied, all right, I can't argue with you. You're right, okay? Jiang Laniying rolled her eyes. Stop being so dismissive. This time, I consented to you forcing Xiao Hui into the military, but when he asks due to be discharged in 2 years, if you dare obstruct him, I'll just divorce you. Lin Guangyao wore a bitter smile. At his age, divorce seemed absurd. He feigned agreement and, after much persuasion, managed to coax her back to the bedroom, gazing out the window at the rows of tall, straight poplar trees. His face was filled with anticipation. Let us see what potential you truly possess, kid. What kind of reputation can you build in the military? He then retreated to his study and shut the door. Opening a drawer, he took out a yellowed, old photograph. As he looked at the picture, nostalgia filled his eyes. It was a group photo, 10 individuals arranged in 2 rows. The front 5 were slightly bent at the waist, while the back 5 stood tall, all clad in vintage military uniforms. Lin Guangyao gently caressed the old photograph, his smile brimming with pride. Old comrades, our third son has finally made something of himself. Chapter 15. I yield, please don't compare. The training ground buzzed with excitement. Suda scanned the faces of the first squad, a smile creeping onto his lips. Lin Hui's heart tightened immediately. Something felt off. This guy was definitely up to some trickery again. Suda declared with seriousness, in less than a month, you will be deployed to your units. The new recruit's training was merely a warm-up. Your real journey begins in the units. If you wish to join a good squad, you must strive, and strive again. Therefore, in the remaining time, you absolutely cannot afford any carelessness. Lin Hui couldn't help but roll his eyes internally. The first squad had already secured the top score among the new recruits. Wasn't that enough? Did he intend to pit them against the entire army? Truly, human greed knows no bounds. While he sought accolades, he shouldn't treat them like mere beasts, relentlessly driving them with a whip. Reflecting on the notion of beasts, Lin Hui unconsciously glanced at Wang Yong beside him. That guy was relentless in his rivalry, just like a stubborn mule. Wang Yong, as if anticipating Lin Hui's gaze, locked eyes with him, sparks flying. Humph. Wang Yong turned away defiantly. Lin Hui couldn't help but curse inwardly, calling him a fool. How audacious could he be? After all the torment he had endured at my hands, how could he remain so oblivious? Throughout these days of training, Wang Yong had been subjected to relentless challenges from dawn till dusk. He could not match Lin Hui's speed in running, nor his precision in tactical maneuvers. Even at mealtimes, he lagged far behind. Yet, instead of conceding defeat, this fellow grew more tenacious with each setback. After each loss, Wang Yong would howl like a banshee, occasionally banging his head against walls or trees in a fit of frustration, only to rebound and renew his efforts. Lin Hui began to suspect whether this lad harbored some proclivity for self-inflicted suffering. With a resigned sigh, he pondered the futility of his methods. This boy had been thoroughly bested, yet he refused to relent, persistently seeking to surpass him. Was he truly dim-witted, or simply devoid of sense? A change in strategy was imperative. Continuing down this path was unsustainable. Suda continued, in preparation for the upcoming comprehensive assessment, I have decided to elevate the intensity of our training. During this period, all of you are to regard Lin Hui as your benchmark, striving to match his prowess. Should anyone surpass him, their rest time will be doubled. Failure to do so will result in doubled penalties. The expressions on everyone's faces instantly soured to one of despair. It was over. They were doomed. How could they possibly surpass Lin Hui? His intellect was leagues beyond theirs. Chun Eru's eyes brimmed with tears. The original penalties were already severe. Doubling them? Brother, I no longer wish to live. Lin Hui's ears were nearly calloused from the incessant lamentations. Stop your wailing. If you wish to avoid punishment, train diligently. Perhaps one day you'll surpass me. Really? Chun Eru's eyes lit up. Brother, you aren't deceiving me, are you? Lin Hui nodded affirmatively, thinking to himself, Eru, strive in your next life for a better start. Let this one be a lesson, as I possess an advantage. Wang Yong was seething with rage. Why was Lin Hui always the standard? Could they not survive without him? He glared at Lin Hui with fury, feeling that piercing gaze. Lin Hui felt exasperated. What are you staring at me for? It's Suda who's stirring up trouble. Direct your ire at him. Observing the tension between the two, Suda smirked, sensing the rising tension in the air. He announced loudly, we will now commence a 6-kilometer run. Everyone turn right. With a collective sigh of resignation, they trudged toward the track. Wang Yong took the lead, sprinting like a wild stallion. Here we go again. Lin Hui sighed, effortlessly outpacing the others in just a few strides to catch up. Seeing Lin Hui close in on him, Wang Yong's face flushed crimson with urgency. Despite pouring every ounce of effort into his run, he could not shake Lin Hui off. Merely half a lap into the run, he was easily overtaken. Lin Hui turned back, a mocking grin on his face. Wang Yong, are you a donkey? Why are you so stubborn? I've told you that you cannot win against me. Yet you refuse to heed my advice. My talent speaks for itself. Do you understand? Wang Yong felt as if he would explode with frustration. Damn it, he bellowed. Head down, charging forward with fervor, spitting droplets everywhere like a frenzied bull. Lin Hui shook his head, exclaiming, "This child is exceedingly earnest." A notification chimed in his ear, running ability level 1. With this prompt, Lin Hui's speed surged, swiftly allowing him to surpass Wang Yong once more. The despair in Wang Yong's eyes was palpable as he muttered to himself, "What the hell? Did this kid grow up consuming the speed of a rocket? How can he run so fast?" In the distance, at the flag-raising platform, team leader Zhou Zhongyi stood with his hands clasped behind his back, a satisfied smile gracing his lips. Zhang Jiantao, in a respectful tone, queried, "Team leader, is there something you wish to report? Why have you come all this way personally?" Zhou Zhongyi waved his hand with a smile. He had come upon the command of the division commander. Little did he expect to witness such unexpected results. It had been some time since their last meeting, and Lin Hui had made remarkable progress. "I've heard about him at the regiment headquarters from time to time. Well done, Xiao Zhang. You seem to have a knack for leading your troops." Zhang Jiantao chuckled heartily. "Team leader, you flatter me. It is primarily due to the excellence of these young men. Initially, I misjudged Lin Hui, thinking him to be a soldier of little promise. Yet, in just 2 months at the recruit company, he has not only shone brightly, but has also brought me some credit." Zhou Zhongyi regarded him seriously. "In less than a month, the recruit assessment will take place. Do not let your guard down." Zhang Jiantao replied earnestly, "Rest assured, team leader. Class 1 will undoubtedly excel and achieve the best results. With Suda here, these soldiers will only improve. There will be no hint of complacency." Zhou Zhongyi nodded. "With your assurance, I feel at ease. This assessment is unlike any before, as both the division commander and brigade commander will be present. We must not falter." Zhang Jiantao's eyes brightened at the mention of the division commander attending. He had never encountered such a situation in his years of training recruits. Zhou Zhongyi patted him on the back. "Perform well, and both our faces will shine with pride." "Yes." Zhang Jiantao saluted, exhilarated. It seemed this occasion was not only a rare opportunity for Suda, but also for himself. If he performed admirably, he might even receive a promotion ahead of time. Soon, all had completed the 6-kilometer run, with Lin Hui, as expected, finishing first. Suda approached and bellowed. Everyone except Lin Hui dropped for 500 push-ups. "What? 500? Groaned the others, their faces contorted in despair. "My goodness, squad leader, are you trying to take our lives? Stop whining and get to it." Suda roared, prompting everyone to collapse onto the ground, tears of frustration welling in their eyes. Wang Yong felt on the verge of collapse, his arms trembling uncontrollably. Observing Wang Yong's pitiful state, Lin Hui scoffed, "Serves you right. This will tire you out." Just then, feeling the urge to use the restroom, he clapped his hands and stood up, heading straight for the facilities. Upon finishing his business and stepping out, he was startled by a figure rushing towards him. What the hell? He focused his gaze, and there stood Wang Yong, drenched in sweat, as if he had been pulled from a water tank. Lin Hui rolled his eyes. "Oh, isn't this our little tyrant, Brother Yong? Hurry up and wash off. We will continue our competition shortly." As he turned to leave, Wang Yong suddenly grasped his arm. "What are you doing? Looking for a fight?" Lin Hui stared with wide eyes. "If you want to fight, let us not do it here. There are too many people. Let's south find another place. I don't want to be dragged down by your mistakes." Wang Yong, with a sorrowful expression, suddenly knelt down, tears streaming down his face. "Brother, I was wrong. I didn't recognize your greatness before. Please, forgive me. I can't take it anymore. If we keep competing, I might just lose everything." Lin Hui was momentarily taken aback, then burst into laughter. "You finally can't handle it anymore." Chapter 16. United We Stand, Collective Resignation. Wang Yong was a mess. Clutching Lin Hui's hand tightly. "Brother Hui, I now understand your prowess. I will never catch up to you. You are simply extraordinary. Let us stop competing. I completely yield to you." Lin Hui felt a wave of joy wash over him. Happiness had come so unexpectedly. He had long been annoyed by this guy. With a smile, he asked, "Are you sure? Last time we agreed that whoever concedes would be the other's grandchild. So, I am your grandson. And you shall be my grandpa, Hui grandpa." Wang Yong, unable to contain his excitement, quickly replied. Lin Hui twitched at the name. It sounded so awkward. However, it was indeed surprising that this guy could admit defeat. He patted Wang Yong on the arm. "You've finally come to your senses. You were the only one in the class who challenged me. Do you know how much hardship and suffering I endured because of you? I could have been enjoying life. But your foolishness turned every day into a battle. Not a single peaceful day. Who isn't?" Wang Yong felt wronged. "I won't say anything more. I was in the wrong. I shouldn't have been so stubborn and always competed with you. I truly can't keep up. After finishing 500 push-ups, I felt like I was at death's door. I can't endure this life for even a day longer. Honestly, I just wanted to muddle through for a couple of years and return home to find a job. I never intended to compete with you. It's your fault for being so arrogant and dazzling." Lin Hui laughed heartily. "All right, Let us not dwell on the past. From now on, let us be harmonious. No more serious competition. Everyone can be comfortable. Otherwise, while we're at odds, that old fellow Suda will benefit. Wang Yong nodded in agreement, and the two returned to the playground, one after the other. As dusk approached, another round of training concluded. Lin Hui sat down to rest while everyone else faced punishment. Suda, with his hands clasped behind his back, strode back and forth before the group with a stern expression. You are all born of mothers and fathers, with 2 shoulders to bear a single head. How can you be so inferior to Lin Hui? Practice diligently. You want to rest until you reach his level. Lin Hui wore a cheerful smile on his face. But internally he felt frustrated. He had heard that the class leader intended to use them as a stepping stone for his promotion. If this old fellow treated everyone with a little kindness and empathy, he might have received some cooperation. However, with his sole aim of using Class 1 as a launchpad for his advancement, Lin Hui would not comply. At 9 o'clock in the evening, after an extra training session, they returned to the dormitory. Everyone collapsed on the ground, utterly exhausted, lacking even the energy to wash up. When would this suffering end? Let us get to the next training team quickly. This is too arduous. I used to think other classes had it rough. But now I dream of being in another class, where at least I wouldn't have to endure this torment every day. We are but fledgling recruits. Yet he treats us as seasoned veterans. Indeed, veterans do not endure the hardships we face. Everyone, intentionally or not, cast their accusatory gazes upon Wang Yong. Their eyes filled with reproach. Wang Yong, his eyes widening, exclaimed, "Do not look at me. I have already apologized to Lin Hui today. From now on, I shall no longer compete." Really? The eyes of all brightened in unison. Thanks to Wang Yong's troublesome antics, they had suffered greatly. What was initially a training regimen that allowed for some leniency had transformed into a battlefield with daily skirmishes. Ma Xiaoshan rose from his bed, exclaiming, "Oh dear mother, you have finally seen the light. Heaven and earth, we shall no longer endure these bitter days." Chun Eru added in complaint, "You have no idea. While you were chasing after Brother Hui, we bore the brunt of it, especially me. Look at my face, it's nearly devoid of flesh." Wang Yong chuckled awkwardly. "No worries, I still have 2 packs of instant noodles and 3 sausages in my locker. I'll share them with you for a proper recovery." He glanced at Lin Hui, signaling him with his eyes. "Lin Hui, what is the plan moving forward? You have plenty of ideas, right?" Lin Hui leaned his head out to glance down the corridor, confirming that the squad leader had not yet arrived. He beckoned the others to gather around. "Do you know why the squad leader is so relentless with us? As if we were his enemies?" The crowd shook their heads. "No idea," Lin Hui whispered. "Because he wants us to achieve first place in the assessments for the entire regiment. This way, he can earn a 3rd-class merit award and secure a promotion." Wang Yong slammed his fist on the bed frame. "That scoundrel. No wonder he treats us like we're less than human, pushing us to our limits and constantly instigating us against one another. It's all for his own gain. What else could it be?" Lin Hui scoffed. "No prophet, no early riser. If it weren't for his ambition to rise in rank, he wouldn't be so harsh on us recruits. The intensity of our training has far surpassed the normal standards for new recruits, even exceeding that of seasoned soldiers. While veterans run 5 kilometers, we are tasked with 6. The others erupted in anger. "This fellow is utterly devious, with those thick brows and large eyes. I thought he was a good person. Among the recruits, our class suffers the most. For his reward, the future will only bring more suffering. Lin Hui, what shall we do now? I do not wish to be worn down." Lin Hui stroked his chin and replied with a smile. "Simple, starting tomorrow. We shall continue as usual, as long as we cease to compare ourselves to one another, whether it's running, tactical drills, or any other training. We will look to Yu Chao Chao as our standard." "Me?" Yu Chao Chao pointed to himself, nearly believing he had misheard. He ranked second to last in the class, slightly better than Chun Eru. Lin Hui smiled. "If we align ourselves with you, the burden on everyone will be considerably lighter." Ma Xiaoshan was the first to grasp the idea. Yes, Lin Hui is right. Let us emulate Comrade Yu Chao Chao, so that we may all find ease. Yu Chao Chao, do not exceed your usual performance. Just maintain your current level, and that will suffice." Yu Chao Chao scratched his head. "I just think my abilities do not allow for that." Lin Hui smiled. "As long as we are united in purpose and maintain the same level, even if our performance declines, the squad leader will have no recourse against us. The law does not punish the multitude. If he dares to impose unwarranted corporal punishment, we shall collectively approach the company commander to express our grievances." Ma Xiaoshan inquired whether the company commander would show favoritism towards him. "I heard that the squad leader seems to have been brought up by the company commander." Lin Hui pondered for a moment before responding. "Although Yu Chao Chao lags behind in our class, he is still considerably more capable than the average recruit. Taking this as a baseline, our class's level should at least allow us to blend into the middle tier, thus avoiding any significant shortcomings. Even if the company commander wished to show favoritism, he would find no opportunity to do so. The others nodded in agreement. While Chun Eru wore a troubled expression, "Big brother, what should I do?" The rest quickly recognized the new dilemma. What about Chun Eru? His skills were the poorest in the class. If everyone maintained a consistent level and left him behind, he would undoubtedly face the wrath of Suda, who would punish him severely. "Big brother, please help me. I don't want to be beaten black and blue by the squad leader." As he spoke, Chun Eru was already in tears. Lin Hui, equally speechless, recalled that when he first arrived, he was not familiar with Chun Eru. Regardless of the situation, it had little bearing on him. However, after spending time together, sharing meals, and sleeping in the same dormitory, they had developed a profound friendship. Moreover, despite his foolishness, Chun Eru was endearing, always addressing him as big brother and even helping with chores like washing dishes and socks, resembling a devoted follower. Ignoring him was not an option for Lin Hui, who felt a sense of responsibility. Suddenly, an idea struck him. "Eru, don't fret. I have a plan." "What plan?" Chun Eru exclaimed, his face lighting up with excitement. Lin Hui smiled. In the military, soldiers with strong military qualities receive privileges. But those who are sensible will also be treated well. As long as you maintain good relations, the squad leader will certainly not trouble you. "I don't quite understand," Chun Eru replied, bewildered. Lin Hui gestured for him to come closer and whispered a few words in his ear. Chun Eru was so overjoyed that he jumped up. "I'm on it. My forte is hard work. Thank you, big brother. You truly are my savior." Lin Hui turned to the others. "We have a general direction now. Starting tomorrow, let us live steadily. In the military, the most important thing is to be happy and comfortable." "Understood." The group nodded with smiles. They all wished to navigate through the next 2 years smoothly, hoping to secure decent jobs or find spouses upon returning home. Naturally, they preferred to avoid unnecessary hardships. As Lin Hui watched the class finally unite as one, his heart brimmed with hope. "At last, I can enjoy my days here. The vibrant world outside awaits my return." Chapter 17. You asked to wash socks. And you ended up washing all the clothes? The next morning, the first class was running on the playground. Occasionally, the group exchanged glances and smiles. Ma Xiaoshan cheerfully remarked, "Running at this pace feels so comfortable, not tiring at all. I really was muddled before. Why was I working so hard?" Wang Yong lamented, It was my foolishness that made everyone suffer." "As long as you recognize it." The others rolled their eyes. However, his newfound awareness was a positive development. At least no one would have to endure further hardship. "Hurry up. Why are you all huddled together? Are you laying eggs? Who told you to run side by side? Move it." The furious voice of Suda echoed from a distance. Yet the crowd seemed oblivious, continuing with their own whims. Suda, infuriated, felt an overwhelming urge to rush forward and deliver a couple of kicks. Despite the training they had endured, this was the first instance of such behavior. Although their speed was not slow, it paled in comparison to previous sessions. Suda furrowed his brow, pondering what antics these youngsters were engaged in. Before long, they completed their run and returned to the starting point. Suda approached briskly, his voice laced with anger. "What on earth are you doing? Is this a jog or a stroll?" He pointed at Lin Hui. "Lin Hui, what is wrong with you today? You're running slower than a snail. Did you skip breakfast?" Lin Hui clutched his stomach, feigning weakness. "The training has been exceedingly strenuous lately, surpassing my physical limits. You have no idea. As soon as I move, my ribs ache, so I can only run this slowly." Suda was left speechless, then turned to Wang Yong. "And you? Surely, you're not suffering the same fate, are you? Is your ribcage in pain too?" Wang Yong chuckled, responding, "Squad leader, didn't you say I should take him as a role model? I must match his pace, keeping in step with him." Suda was nearly choked with indignation. "What kind of comprehension is that? When I said to take him as a model, I meant his admirable qualities. Striving to surpass him, I did not mean to emulate his shortcomings." Wang Yong retorted with conviction, "That is not fair. If I am to take him as an example, it necessitates a comprehensive study. Otherwise, if I do surpass him, I risk being caught up." Observing the stifled laughter of the others, Suda's eyes blazed with fury. It became evident to him that this group was conspiring, deliberately opposing him. It was a blatant act of defiance. Yet, even with this awareness, Suda found himself at a loss. Despite Class 1's deliberate lack of effort, their overall speed still surpassed that of other classes, leaving no grounds for punishment. Frustration welled up within him. If they continued in this manner, what would happen during the new recruits assessment? His gaze swept across the group, finally landing on the apprehensive Chun Eru. Chun Eru felt a chill run down his spine, his mind racing with a mantra. "Please don't punish me. Please don't punish me, for the love of all that is holy." "Chun Eru," Suda bellowed, "why are you always the last to arrive? Are your legs merely ornamental? You can't even catch up with them running this slowly? 300 push-ups, prepare." Chun Eru grimaced, feeling wronged as he lay on the ground and began his push-ups. Suda pointed at the others, shouting in ire, "The rest of you, go run another 5 kilometers." Instantly, Everyone turned with grins, scampering towards the track. At the pace they were moving, running was hardly exhausting. They could easily manage not just 5 kilometers, but even more without any trouble. Lin Hui, you're truly remarkable, a few of the recruits chuckled. The squad leader knows we're slacking off, yet has no way to deal with us. Lin Hui smiled slightly. The higher the road, the greater the devil. There's no way they can exploit us to earn themselves accolades. Right now, we are like liberated serfs singing our songs. The others nodded in agreement. And even Wang Yong felt that Lin Hui's words were profoundly insightful. Damn, if only I could have awakened sooner, I could have spared myself some suffering. Why compete for that top spot? Truly, it is a case of sacrificing dignity for the sake of appearances. Su Daiyuan observed from a distance. Nearly exploding with frustration, these little rascals seem intent on rebellion. No, I must devise a strategy to compel them forward, to extract their full potential. The day's training concluded swiftly. Under Lin Hui's leadership, whether it was physical conditioning, tactics, or grenade throwing, they invariably sought to evade exertion, barely lifting a finger. It nearly drove Su Daiyuan to the brink of bloodshed from anger. As evening descended, Su Daiyuan finished his meal and hastily exited the cafeteria. These lads were impervious to both persuasion and coercion. He found himself utterly at a loss. He could only hope that the instructor might devise an effective solution to the predicament. Meanwhile, the first class returned to their dormitory after dinner. Upon entering, Chen Eru immediately dashed to Su Daiyuan's locker. As he opened it, a foul stench assaulted his senses. Pinching his nose, he turned back in disgust. Brother, must we truly resort to this? Lin Hui replied calmly, it is essential. You are lagging behind in every aspect. If you wish to avoid punishment, you must tackle this issue. As the saying goes, the early bird catches the worm. You must demonstrate to the squad leader your commitment. Wang Yong nodded in agreement. What Hui Ge says is true. Don't be squeamish. It's merely washing socks and underwear. What is the big deal? As long as you do a good job and keep them clean, how could Su Daiyuan possibly penalize you? Chen Eru nodded vigorously. All right, I'll follow your lead. He seized the foul socks and dirty clothes from the locker and hurried outside. As he departed, everyone turned to Lin Hui with expressions of curiosity. Lin Hui shrugged. Why are you all looking at me? I'm genuinely offering him advice. This strategy is known as surrounding way to rescue Zhao. The others said little more. Among the class, Chen Eru and Lin Hui shared the best rapport, having been on the top and bottom bunks together. Lin Hui would never pull a fast one on him. In the office, Wang Hai sighed. Su Daiyuan, you are a seasoned soldier with commendable leadership experience, yet this time, you have employed an incorrect approach. An incorrect approach? Su Daiyuan inquired, puzzled. Wang Hai nodded. Reflect on how you have led the troops since the first month of basic training. It's been a relentless pressure cooker, each month harsher than the last. Even a horse requires a breather and some feed. If you maintain such unyielding pressure, even the finest soldiers will harbor grievances. And even the best squad will be rendered ineffective. Su Daiyuan's face was a mask of astonishment. He had not realized the gravity of the situation. However, upon reflection, the instructor's words held merit. Since becoming a squad leader, it seemed he had been wielding the whip, overly eager for immediate results. No wonder it had incited discontent and resistance. Su Daiyuan, now anxious, implored, Instructor, what should I do now? Wang Hai considered for a moment before responding. What you should prioritize now is not how to train and improve performance, but rather to seek opportunities to mend relationships with them. Human hearts are tender. Just 2 months ago, they were still the cherished babies of their families. If you can show them understanding, I believe they will reciprocate. Su Daiyuan nodded. You make a valid point. I shall heed your advice and give it a try. Their actions were merely an attempt to seek respite, and I shall grant them this reprieve. As long as they can demonstrate their capabilities during the assessment and secure a commendable rank, that is sufficient. On the journey back, Su Da felt a twinge of uncertainty. After years of commanding troops, he had always adhered to strict self-discipline and maintained high standards for his soldiers. Whether dealing with recruits or seasoned veterans, he treated them all equally. He had never before considered negotiating terms with his subordinates. Deep down, Su Da believed that a soldier should unconditionally obey commands. Not to mention the intensity of this training. Even if it were tenfold more rigorous, one must endure and follow orders without question. Su Da sighed inwardly. The times have changed, and people are no longer the same. In order to earn a third-class merit and secure a promotion, it seems he must yield a bit. However, upon returning to his dormitory, he was taken aback by the sight before him. 7 or 8 pairs of undergarments encircled his bed like banners, and 3 pairs of shoes, impeccably cleaned, leaned against the wall. Squad leader, how do you think I did with the laundry? Is it clean? Chen Eru asked cheerfully from outside the window. Su Da's lips twitched in irritation as he shouted. Who the hell told you to wash my clothes? What am I supposed to wear for the next few days? Chapter 18. Su Da gives and Su Da's eyes widened in disbelief. Chen Eru immediately felt a chill run down his spine and turned to Lin Hui for help. Squad leader, please don't be angry. Era meant well. Lin Hui, quick to act, intervened. He knows he lacks your skills and just wanted to do a little extra to help you out. Chun Era nodded vigorously. Yes, yes, squad leader. You worked so hard. I just wanted to lighten your load a bit. He hurriedly recounted everything Lin Hui had instructed him to say. Su De, infuriated, retorted. Is this your idea of helping me? You've washed all my clothes. What am I supposed to wear tomorrow? Am I to go about in my birthday suit? I've been wearing these shoes for 7 days straight. If you wanted to wash them, at least wait until I change. Chun Eru scratched his head in confusion. What? I saw the shoes gathering dust and thought they were dirty, so I washed them too. Lin Hui rolled his eyes in exasperation. Truly, it was like dealing with a simpleton. He had asked him to wash dirty clothes, and yet he had laundered the clean ones as well. If it weren't for Chun Eru's good-natured demeanor, resembling a loyal sidekick, Lin Hui would have disregarded the situation entirely. Lin Hui attempted to smooth things over. Squad leader. Eru's heart was in the right place. You know this lad isn't the brightest, so let us not hold it against him. Wang Yong chimed in. Yes, squad leader. Eru just wanted to help you lighten your burden. Please don't be upset with him. As Suda was about to explode in anger, he suddenly recalled the instructor's earlier advice. He needed to foster a harmonious relationship and must not let matters escalate. These young men were evidently attempting to curry favor with him, and punishing them might backfire. Little did he know, Lin Hui and the others had already resolved to take a carefree approach with him. Suda thought to himself, the recruit training is nearing its end. There's no need to clash with these lads. As long as they perform well during the assessment, that suffices. He exhaled, forcing a smile. All right then. It seems I misjudged you. It's commendable that you have this spirit. Chun Eru instantly became excited, exclaiming, Class leader, I shall wash all your clothes tomorrow. I noticed you have quite a few in your wardrobe. Suda was startled, replying, those are all clean. Do not wash them. Lin Hui felt a sense of awkwardness and kushao. This child, Eru, truly seemed beyond redemption. Come gather around. Let us hold a class meeting. Suda called out, and everyone rushed over with their mats. Once seated, a palpable tension filled the air. They were still awaiting Su Da's reckoning for the events of the day. Based on past occurrences, it was certain that they would soon be reprimanded severely. Yet, a minute passed, and Su Da remained silent. The group exchanged glances, feeling as though they were ensnared in the calm before the storm, which only heightened their anxiety. Unbeknownst to them, Su Da was engaged in a fierce internal struggle. The instructor had spoken lightly, but after so many years of service, he had never bowed his head or yielded to his subordinates. His guiding principle for leading troops was one of strictness and severity. Even those who had once served under him and had now risen to the ranks of squad leaders or platoon leaders would still feel apprehensive in his presence. Thus, Suda found it difficult to lower his guard. He silently chanted to himself, endure this moment of tranquility, take a step back for broader horizons. This is the last chance. For the sake of promotion and remaining in the team, I must persevere. He forced a stiff smile and announced, today's meeting has no particular theme. It's just a casual chat, so everyone relax. Recently, our training load has indeed been somewhat heavier than that of other classes. The group collectively frowned, thinking, somewhat heavier? It's been several times more demanding. Suda continued, I understand that this period has been quite arduous for you, and you may have grievances against me in private, but my intentions are for your benefit. Joining the military means enduring hardship, if one wishes to avoid suffering. Perhaps they should return home instead. He took a deep breath. However, prolonged high-intensity training can indeed be overwhelming. So moving forward, let us all take a step back. Please do not harbor any resentment. We will continue with normal training, and I will ease the training load to allow for some recovery. As long as you maintain a satisfactory level and do not falter during the new recruit assessment, I can afford to allow you some comfort during this period. Everyone turned to Lin Hui with smiles. It seemed he was indeed correct. As long as they stood united, victory was within their grasp. They did not need to become complacent. A slight reduction in training intensity would suffice. Suda observed their expressions, feeling a sense of indignation. These little rascals are clearly in cahoots, with Lin Hui leading the charge. He directed his gaze at Lin Hui. I've shown my willingness here. How about you all express your stance as well? Lin Hui responded with a smile. Given how our class leader is so considerate of us, we naturally must do our best. We will not falter in the new recruit assessment. After all, as long as they passed the assessment, it was not a lie to Suda. The others chimed in yes. We must bring glory to our class. Suda smiled. All right, let us conclude this meeting. You may go wash up. There will be no extra training tonight. Everyone should rest well and conserve your energy. Long live the class leader. Amidst a chorus of exuberant shouts, the crowd eagerly gathered their basins and toiletries, merrily rushing outside. Suda, gritting his teeth, rose to his feet, his heart brimming with indignation. These mischievous little rascals dared to threaten him. He fervently hoped no one would be assigned to the 6th Company. Otherwise, he would not hesitate to make them rue the day. A slender poplar stood tall upon a high ridge, while by the waterside, a group of individuals linked arms, joyfully singing and swaying their hips. Wang Yong, a toothbrush clenched between his teeth, exclaimed with excitement. Thanks to Brother Hui, if it weren't for his clever scheme, that old codger Su De would never have bowed to us. From now on, we can finally escape the hardships of life. The crowd collectively rolled their eyes. After all, it was he who had caused them trouble in the first place. Yet, this fellow had indeed transformed swiftly, previously a villain opposing Lin Hui at every turn. He had now become an ardent sycophant, singing praises of Brother Hui incessantly. Wang Yong, with an air of self-satisfaction, held his head high, indifferent to the judgment of others. He understood all too well that the comfort of their lives was a privilege granted to him. He had no desire to compete with Lin Hui ever again, for that was a life not worth living. Lin Hui interjected, Everyone, let us not grow complacent. While the monitor has reduced our workload, we must not slack off in our training, lest we face dire consequences. The group nodded in agreement. They were well aware of Su De's temperament. Today was merely a facade of compromise, but should they retreat too far, they would surely provoke him. Lin Hui continued, During this period, you must remain in alignment with me. When the newcomer assessment arrives, do not falter. Your final results will directly determine the company to which you are assigned. Each individual entering the military harbored their own aspirations, and he could not allow his issues to hinder others. Furthermore, they had cohabited quite well in the new recruits company for 3 months, and he did not wish to impede anyone's progress. Suddenly, someone spoke up, Brother Hui. What kind of company do you wish to join? How about we all go to the 6th company together? I hear it's a paradise for elite soldiers. Lin Hui shook his head. You can go alone. I have no desire to join. Why not? The notion of elite soldiers may be enticing, but it is equally a hellish ordeal. Lin Hui replied gravely. Do you have any idea how grueling the training is there? It is exponentially more arduous than what we face now, where injuries and exhaustion are commonplace. If you lack the mental fortitude, it would be wise to abandon this notion. Is it truly that terrifying? Everyone gasped in shock. Even Wang Yong's expression shifted. Lin Hui nodded solemnly. Certainly. The monitor just mentioned that joining the military is synonymous with hardship. If one wishes to excel, they must exert themselves and toil tirelessly. He sighed. While life in the military has its merits, I personally prefer the outside world. I wish to lead a stable life for the next 2 years, without the burden of striving for excellence. However, it is best for you to consider your own circumstances. Do not emulate me, for I am hardly a worthy example in this regard. Moreover, I do not wish to hinder your promising futures. Wang Yong chuckled. Brother Hui. Then it seems we share the same ambition. I enlisted to secure a good job upon my return. My family has connections, and once I am discharged, I will head straight to the electronics factory, with a salary of 1,500, weekends off, and additional benefits. Chen Eru felt a sense of disappointment. In truth, I really wish to be part of the 6th company. You? The 6th company? Wang Yong exclaimed as he playfully slapped the back of his head. Chen Eru, feeling aggrieved, retorted, What? Can't I have a dream? But I know I'm not cut out for military service. My mind is a bit dull. So, we go. Wherever you go, I shall follow, and we can retire together. The others exchanged glances, each harboring their own thoughts. Some had joined the military for ease in securing jobs post-service, while others sought companionship. There were those who aspired to make a mark within the ranks. As for Lin Hui, he merely wished to endure his remaining time comfortably, fulfilling a 2-year agreement with his father. However, after 2 months of shared meals and sleep, their bonds had grown as close as family. The thought of parting ways in half a month stirred a sense of reluctance within each heart. No, Lin Hui shook his head, refusing to be swayed by such sentiments. The outside world, with its dazzling allure, could not compare to the camaraderie of these men. He smiled and said, Your futures lie in your own hands. Yet for now, we must focus on our training. We should train diligently and avoid provoking Su De. His demeanor today has been commendable, and we should not push our luck. The group nodded in agreement. You're right, we'll heed your words. Chapter 19. Report, I wish to raise pigs. In the following days of training, everyone adhered to Lin Hui's advice and took their tasks seriously. However, their efforts still paled in comparison to the fervor they had once displayed at their peak. It was not that they lacked the desire to recapture that feeling. Rather, they found it impossible to return to that state. In those earlier days, Wang Yong had been like a rabid dog, leading Lin Hui and the entire squad forward. Now, Wang Yong had become a sycophant, and their collective motivation and intensity had naturally waned, resulting in poorer performance. Su De, standing at the edge of the training ground, was infuriated. Damn it! Why can't we return to how we were before? Compared to the past few days, this is simply unacceptable. Were it not for the fear of escalating tensions and jeopardizing the fragile harmony they had painstakingly built, he would have taken his belt and chased after everyone, urging them to run. Patience, patience. Su De closed his eyes. They promised not to falter in their assessments, I must trust them. I cannot allow them to rebel now. The new recruit's 3-month training was nearing its conclusion. After the morning exercises, Suda summoned everyone. The new recruit assessment is imminent. This is the moment to gauge your progress over the past 3 months. You must perform well. We shall see if you are truly capable. There must be no slip-ups. Lin Hui, with a cheerful demeanor, reassured, rest assured, squad leader, we are well aware. The others echoed his sentiment, nodding and smiling in agreement. They had already mentally prepared themselves weeks prior. Aside from a select few aspiring for elite units, the majority were inclined to go with the flow. Having only been in the camp for 3 months, their ideological awareness was still insufficient, and it was only natural to desire a bit of leniency. However, Suda remained oblivious to the situation, mistakenly believing that they were all eager young wolves, ready to unleash themselves from their restraints and charge forward with fervor. He nodded in satisfaction, reflecting that although these youngsters often appeared frivolous, they displayed remarkable competence at crucial moments. As long as they performed well during the assessment and did not falter, a third-class merit was undoubtedly within reach. His gaze fell upon Lin Hui, whose exceptional qualities assured him a place in the 6th Company. Just wait. I shall make you regret attempting to leverage me. Formation. A sharp whistle echoed from a distance, prompting everyone on the playground to assemble into formation. Without hesitation, Suda shouted, quickly gather towards the main unit. Move swiftly. Class 1 quickly lined up and proceeded towards the company. Wang Yong turned to Lin Hui and inquired, Brother Hui, now that the assessment is over, which company are you going to? Shall we go together? Why would you want to follow me? Lin Hui replied, puzzled. Wang Yong chuckled, you understand too much. Following you, I shall never suffer loss. Chun Eru nodded in agreement. Exactly. Sticking with the big brother means 3 hearty meals a day. I'll follow you. I want to be bullied. Lin Hui laughed heartily. The division of companies is based on assessment results. It's not as if you can go wherever you wish. Besides, I lack the ability to ensure we are all placed together. He merely wished for a casual assignment to pass the days. Having these 2 burdens tagging along would only hinder his progress. Chun Eru, disappointed, exclaimed, Big brother, what if I end up in another company? How will I see you? I've grown accustomed to sleeping on the upper bunk. Without you, I want to be able to sleep peacefully. Wang Yong also appeared disheartened. Brother Hui, you know so much. If we are separated, I will surely face criticism. Do you have any clever ideas to keep us together? Lin Hui rolled his eyes. Do you think of me as a commanding officer who can assign anyone to any unit at will? Observing their despondent expressions, he felt an inexplicable warmth in his heart. All right, don't be disheartened. We 3 share a bond. Perhaps when we are assigned to our companies, we will still be together. Even if we are not, we will always be comrades who have faced battles side by side. We can visit each other whenever possible, as we are all in 602. Upon hearing this, the 2 felt considerably better. After 3 months of camaraderie, they had unconsciously come to regard Lin Hui as a cherished older brother. Lin Hui, too, had not realized how much he had cared for his 2 younger brothers. On the observation platform, Division Commander Lu Qingsong gazed down at the playground, where each class, squad, and company rapidly formed a battalion as they converged towards the center. He smiled, remarking, swift movements, decisive actions, excellent. They are beginning to resemble soldiers. Brigade Commander Zhou Zhongyi was overjoyed, yet remained outwardly modest, stating, this batch of recruits learns quickly and is willing to endure hardships. Their progress over the past 3 months has indeed been substantial. Lu Qingsong pointed to a particular formation. Is that the 1st company? Indeed, Commander, came the reply. Their assembly speed is impressive, and their posture is the most standard. Each one stands as if a mop handle were inserted behind them. I would believe they were seasoned soldiers. Zhou Zhongyi beamed with delight, feeling proud of Zhang Jiantao for enhancing his reputation. He resolved to commend him for his exemplary leadership and training. However, Zhou Zhongyi remained oblivious to the fact that Lu Qingsong had actually come for Lin Hui of the 1st Company. During this time, he had discreetly dispatched individuals to gather intelligence regarding Lin Hui's performance in the military. Should Lin Hui excel, he would promptly report to Lin Hui's father. Such a rare opportunity to curry favor with a senior leader was not one he could afford to miss. As the assembly of new recruits was completed, each company commander stood forth in succession, bellowing their reports. 1st Company, 125 expected, 125 present, awaiting your directives. 2nd Company, 118 expected, 118 present, awaiting your directives. 3rd Company, at ease, Zhou Zhongyi commanded. The company commanders immediately turned around. At ease. The new recruits all fell into a relaxed stance. Zhou Zhongyi then turned to Lu Qingsong, seeking further instructions. With a slight smile, Lu Qingsong approached the front of the viewing platform. Attention! Every recruit snapped to attention, their movements sharp and synchronized. Lu Qingsong nodded in satisfaction. Do not be nervous. I am your commander, Lu Qingsong of the 602nd. You are about to conclude your training as new recruits and officially become part of the esteemed 602nd. This unit boasts a glorious history, having endured countless battles. Many predecessors have sacrificed their lives in combat, leaving behind a vibrant legacy etched in blood. Our spirit has been passed down through generations amidst the smoke and flames of war. He solemnly continued, now, this flag and our spirit are about to be entrusted to you. Do you have the confidence to uphold the banner of the 602nd? Yes, the recruits shouted in unison, their voices resonating with fervor. After 3 months of training, they had taken on the form of soldiers and understood the honor and sense of duty that came with military service. Thus, in this moment, every voice rang out particularly loud. Even Lin Hui found himself swept up in the atmosphere, his heart stirred. Lu Qingsong smiled and nodded. After the assessment, we will discuss your preferences for company assignments. What kind of company do you wish to join? He pointed to a recruit in the front row. You, speak up. The recruit shouted eagerly. I want to join the 5th Armored Company of the S Group. Ever since I was young, I have loved tanks. And my dream in the military has always been to drive one. Excellent. I believe you have the capability. And you? Lu Qingsong pointed to another recruit. That recruit responded excitedly. I want to join the Tiger Regiment. I've heard that the 6th Company of the Tiger Regiment is the elite force. A paradise for the best soldiers, and I want to be part of that. Very ambitious. Lu Qingsong laughed heartily. However, the 6th Company is home to the most outstanding reconnaissance soldiers of the 602nd. Only those with true skill can aspire to join. His gaze shifted to a corner of the formation, where he spotted Lin Hui. That recruit. What type of unit do you wish to join? Lu Qingsong hoped Lin Hui would express his desire to join the 6th Company. This would facilitate the transfer and provide a justifiable explanation to the senior leader. Report. I want to raise pigs. Lin Hui declared loudly. The moment his words fell, an overwhelming silence enveloped the assembly. The smile on Lu Qingsong's face abruptly vanished, as though he had swallowed a fly. What did you just say? He hesitated and asked again. Lin Hui exclaimed loudly. Report, Chief. I wish to go to logistics to raise pigs. Report, we also want to raise pigs. Wang Yong nudged Chen Eru, and the two joined in the chorus. Suda felt a bitter taste in his throat, nearly spitting out old blood. Chapter 20. Suda spits blood. Are they trying to kill me? Suda glared at the three, his face reddening with embarrassment. Xiangbing, go to logistics to raise pigs? Why not go slaughter pigs instead? You're truly bringing shame upon me. The expression on squad leader Zhang Jintao's face was equally grim. After leading troops for so long, he had never encountered anyone who would voluntarily request to raise pigs in logistics. And now, 3 of them at once, all from the same company. What a disgrace. Lu Qingsong wore a look of embarrassment. Had it been anyone else, he would have erupted in anger long ago. But Lin Hui was different. He was the son of the old chief. Lu Qingsong could only suppress his frustration and ask, I'm quite curious. While others aspire to advance in esteemed units, why do you wish to go to logistics to raise pigs? Lin Hui puffed out his chest. Report. A revolutionary soldier is like a brick, wherever needed. That is where we go. In my heart, there is no distinction of high or low among positions in the army. Everyone scrambles to good units, eager to showcase themselves. But who will raise the pigs in logistics? Who will tend to the chickens, and what about the geese? Therefore, I have decided to sacrifice myself, leaving the opportunity for others, and to stay in logistics to raise hefty pigs for our hard-working soldiers. The entire assembly erupted in laughter, with some doubling over in amusement. Who is this guy? He's hilarious. I can't take it. You don't know? He's Lin Hui, the top recruit from the last 2 training sessions. Wow. The first place actively applies to raise pigs? That's truly noble. Hearing the chatter, Lu Qingsong's lips twitched uncontrollably. This was his first encounter with the son of the old chief, and he never expected such a unique perspective. Yet, he found himself unable to formulate a rebuttal. He awkwardly chuckled. Well said. What a revolutionary soldier. A brick moved wherever needed. This young comrade speaks wisely. Positions in the army bear no distinction of high or low. Whether in logistics or on the front lines, both are equally vital to the army. Without pork, wouldn't our soldiers go hungry? Laughter erupted among the recruits. Even Lin Hui admired the leader's cleverness, as he deftly smoothed over the situation. Truly a master of rhetoric. Zhou Zhongyi shot a furious glare at Zhang Jiantao. Just received accolades, and now it's turned into this. Zhang Jiantao felt a profound sense of frustration, angrily pointing at Suda. Look at the soldiers you've brought. Suda felt as if he were at the brink of despair, wishing to sew Lin Hui's mouth shut. And what about Wang Yong and Chen Eru, those 2 fools? Why did they join in? Lu Qingsong waved his hand, saying, actually, each of you has valid thoughts. The army is a colossal machine, and every cog, big or small, is essential. Regardless of the position assigned, everyone contributes to the nation and the military. Now, without further ado, let us proceed to the examination. Zhou Zhongyi stepped forward and commanded, attention, everyone. We shall now commence the new training assessment. All personnel are to be escorted by their respective company commanders to the designated evaluation site. Yes, the company commanders issued their orders, and the ranks swiftly dispersed. Under the leadership of Zhang Jiantao, Company 1 proceeded to the eastern side of the training ground to begin the assessment. Zhang Jiantao glared at Lin Hui and his companions, his voice rising in anger. Once you step out of the company, whether you wish to raise pigs or cultivate land is beyond my concern. However, during this assessment, there will be absolutely no room for failure. This is a test of the fruits of your 3 months of hard work and an opportunity to prove your worth. Do you understand? Yes. The collective shout echoed in response. Disperse and prepare for the 5-kilometer assessment. The group promptly scattered and took their positions on the track. Suda approached Lin Hui, seething with rage. What were you 3 just doing? Thinking of raising pigs? How absurd. Do you find this amusing or humorous? Let me tell you, only incompetent soldiers, only the inferior, are sent to raise pigs. True warriors should strive for excellence. Lin Hui replied with a smile. Squad leader. The division commander did not express such sentiments earlier. Are you not contradicting him? Suda was momentarily taken aback by the retort, exclaiming in frustration, damn it. Are you trying to lecture me now? He continued, his voice laced with fury. Stop with the antics. I don't care what you boys are thinking. During the assessment, you are not to falter, or I will not spare you. Understood. The 3 nodded vigorously. Yet, they exchanged knowing glances, smirking mischievously. They had no intention of failing. They merely aimed to perform at a standard level. Zhang Jiantao blew the whistle, and all participants surged forward with fervor. Given the critical nature of this assessment, all class leaders stood on the field to rally their teams. Run faster. Open your strides. Charge ahead. Run quicker. Increase the distance. Keep pushing. As the other class leaders cheered for their squads, Su Da's brow furrowed in concern. Contrary to his expectations, Company 1 was not leading but rather positioned in the middle of the pack, neither here nor there. Old Su, what's going on? The 3rd company leader inquired curiously. The 6th company leader echoed the sentiment. Captain of Company 1, this is unusual for your team. Did you all eat something bad yesterday and suffer from an upset stomach? Su Da's face flushed with embarrassment. In previous assessments, he had basked in glory, but now, suddenly confronted with this setback, he was livid. Run. What in the world are you doing? Are you huddling together for warmth? Move ahead. Su Da's voice strained as he shouted, nearly losing his voice. The members of Company 1 jolted at the sound of their captain's voice, instinctively turning their gazes towards Lin Hui. After all, he was their cornerstone. Although this was the final assessment, Company 1 had always functioned as a cohesive unit, so they were accustomed to trailing behind Lin Hui. Run. Hurry up. Lin Hui glanced towards the edge of the field, where Su Da was frantically shouting in desperation. Although this fellow had incited competition between him and Wang Yong, hoping to leverage their results to remain in the unit, the pressure was palpable. During this period, he also inquired and learned that Su Da hailed from a rural background with a modest level of education, making his actions somewhat understandable. However, Lin Hui merely wished to lead a laid-back existence, having no desire to attain any notable ranks. In the military, the more exceptional one is, the more hardship one endures. Having faced considerable struggles in his previous life, Lin Hui was not inclined to suffer again. He turned to the others and said, all right, you all hurry along. Don't trail behind me. The others looked at him in surprise. Aren't we usually together? Lin Hui waved his hand dismissively. That's different. That was to avoid being reprimanded by the squad leader. My goals diverge from yours. I merely seek to join an ordinary unit, spend 2 years, and then return to enjoy life. Do not follow me aimlessly. If you possess the capability, do not hesitate. Run now. The others exchanged glances. So, we won't be polite then? With that, Ma Xiaoshan dashed forward. The others quickly followed suit, accelerating past him. Their objectives for joining the military indeed varied, while they might have slacked off at times. With an assessment at hand, they were determined to showcase their true abilities. They did not wish to end up tending to pigs. A better unit would undoubtedly lead to greater opportunities. Lin Hui glanced back at the remaining Wang Yong and Shen Eru. Why aren't you two running? Wang Yong grinned. I have no particular reason, just that I'm annoyed with that Suda kid. He has been training me like a dog, and I want him to face some hardship. Lin Hui was left speechless, but over time, he had come to understand that this fellow was rather stubborn, prone to yielding only to gentle persuasion. Suda's approach had been misguided. There was no point in advising him. This kid was set in his ways. Lin Hui turned to Eru. What about you? Why aren't you running? Shun Eru flashed a broad smile. Brother Hui, I am loyal to you. Wherever you go, I will follow. Please don't drive me away. Lin Hui was exasperated. It seemed this fellow had latched onto him. Whatever, let us just run. Maintaining a steady pace, Lin Hui ran forward, secretly amused. Father, you pressured me into the military. I shall comply. However, if you think I will endure hardship here, you are gravely mistaken. In this uniform, I will do as I please. What can you do about it? Huh. After 2 years, I shall return to a carefree life. Observing many in the ranks hastening forward, Suda was nearly beside himself with excitement. These young men had been holding back, waiting for the right moment to explode. Yet, when he noticed Lin Hui, Wang Yong, and Chun Eru still lagging in the middle of the pack, his fury ignited. Chun Eru he could overlook, but Lin Hui and Wang Yong were among the top performers in their cohort. Why were these two still idle? Did they genuinely intend to go to logistics and tend to pigs? Suda clenched his fists, ready to unleash a torrent of curses. Meanwhile, on the sidelines, LV Chingsong observed from a distance, his brow furrowed. Zhou Zhongyi, did you not claim that those 2 soldiers in Company 1 were among the best in the new recruits? Having broken multiple records? Is this the promising talent you spoke of, or are you jesting with me? Zhou Zhongyi's countenance darkened. Commander, these 2 soldiers performed exceptionally well in the previous assessment, but today, I am uncertain of the cause for their underwhelming performance. Perhaps they are unwell? Lu Qingsong, though visibly enraged, chose to remain silent. Soon, the 5-kilometer run concluded. Lin Hui and Wang Yong barely crossed the pass mark, while Chun Eru nearly failed to meet the standard, fortunately aided by his companions at a crucial moment. What on earth are you 2 doing? Suda charged towards them, his voice laced with fury. Lin Hui, with a mischievous glint in his eyes, cheerfully replied, Squad leader, it might be that our recent rigorous training has drained our stamina, and we have yet to recover. But rest assured, I am confident I have passed. Wang Yong chimed in, Squad leader, you know me well, my talent is lacking, and I push myself too hard while training alongside Lin Hui. Now my entire body aches, and I can barely keep up. Nevertheless, I assure you, I have also passed. Suda's eyes were as red as a rabbit's. Passed. With these scores, how dare you speak? Before he could finish his admonition, a voice echoed from afar. Prepare for the next round of assessments. Gritting his teeth, he admonished the 2. This is the second round. Both of you need to focus and not falter again. We will certainly do our best. Lin Hui and Wang Yong responded with smirks. One of them envisioned enduring 2 more years in this setting before venturing into the vibrant world outside, while the other contemplated working at an electronics factory post-discharge, seeking a chance to retaliate against Suda. As for Chun Eru, his thoughts were even simpler. He clung to Lin Hui like a lifeline, ensuring someone would look out for him and shield him from bullying. Soon, the group reconvened on the training ground. Zhang Jiantao, upon spotting Lin Hui and Wang Yong, felt an intense frustration. Next, we will conduct the tactical assessment. Everyone, lie down. The soldiers immediately complied, awaiting further instructions. Suda stood by, secretly hoping for no disruptions. These 2 fellows have commendable tactical maneuvers. Last time, they even broke the regiment's record. Begin. With the command, everyone immediately assumed a low crawl, advancing rapidly. Yet Lin Hui, Wang Yong, and Chun Eru appeared sluggish, as if their minds were fogged. While others had already crawled several meters, the trio was still slow to respond. Suda's eyes blazed with fury. He felt an overwhelming urge to reprimand them. Before long, the tactical assessment concluded. Lin Hui and Wang Yong, unsurprisingly, scored below average once again. Although they managed to pass, their results paled in comparison to their peak performances. Suda was on the verge of exploding with rage. You 2 little rascals, are you intentionally trying to frustrate me? I give you a glimmer of encouragement, and you shine all too brightly. Fine, I will remember this. Lin Hui, glancing from afar, stuck out his tongue. The squad leader is furious. He probably wishes to eliminate us. Wang Yong scoffed. Serves him right. He instigated me to compete with you, making my life miserable for an entire day, nearly exhausting me. The fact that we didn't fail is already a testament to our efforts. What should we do next? Lin Hui forced a smile. Don't go overboard. I just want to be a slacker for a couple of years and then return home after my service. You all should refrain from meddling in my affairs and focus on your assessments. Wang Yong shot him a glance. Who doesn't want to be a slacker? I came here to serve, not to suffer. Getting assigned to a good unit means enduring daily training and hardship. Wouldn't that be exhausting? He added, don't bother advising me. I'll follow your lead and be a slacker alongside you. Lin Hui couldn't help but chuckle bitterly. In this day and age, who would be vying to be a slacker? At that moment, Chun Eru scampered over excitedly. I want to join too. Lin Hui glared at him. What are you doing here? Focus on your performance. Don't embarrass your village folks. Chun Eru replied pitifully. Brother Hui, I want to perform well too, but you know my capabilities. Even if I try my best, I won't achieve much. It's better to stick with you all for companionship. Right, Brother Yong? Wang Yong rolled his eyes. You little tail, why are you always around? Lin Hui observed Chun Eru's pitiful demeanor and couldn't help but smile inwardly. Although the lad wasn't intellectually gifted, he had a degree of self-awareness. With his performance, even if he excelled, he would never land in a decent unit. It was far more comfortable to continue idling with Lin Hui. With a sigh, Lin Hui conceded, all right, you can tag along. Chun Eru beamed. Brother Hui, you're the best. Aside from my parents and my big yellow dog, you treat me the best. Lin Hui grimaced. What a ridiculous statement. With a mouth like that, if he didn't stick with Lin Hui, he would surely get beaten up elsewhere. The whistle sounded again, and the assessments continued. During each evaluation, Lin Hui exerted only half of his strength, barely surpassing the passing mark each time. Wang Yong and Chen Eru mimicked him. Not far away, Suda was fuming. Chen Eru was a weak soldier by nature. He was hopeless at everything and could run faster than anyone when it came to meals.